Good evening, everyone. This is Mr. Nealand. Welcome back to All Roads Lead to Rome. Thank you once again for joining us. This is a Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages game, and this is episode 40, the recruitment of Shalmuth, the Keeper of the Chronicles, and the disaster at Corinth. For a quick reminder, I will reintroduce some of the NPCs that have appeared so far and will be appearing again in this session. So on the left here you have Ihamus, the follower of Set, who has so far been a vital part of this war effort. On the right you have Alethea, Childa of Artemis, and here represented by Glory Hall, and you may find her on Pinterest and Instagram. We have also making an appearance on the left Christina the Acadian, and on the right Malaga Jabari, whom some of you may recall is supposed to be dead. So, good luck with that one. And last, on the left you have Shalmuth, the Keeper of the Chronicles, Bruja. And on the right you have Sybil the Nosferatu, who the group will be meeting late in the session. So, once again, thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoy listening, and have a good evening. Okay, guys, welcome back. We are at session 40. Quick recap for last game. Last session, you discovered a couple of interesting things about two of your coterie members. You've always known that Albina could be a stone-cold, emotionless bitch.
Knew that.
You found out just how far she'd go to get rid of an infection, especially one that threatens her beloved gods. Unfortunately, that resulted in the deaths of 13 potentially innocent people. And you've known that Icarus could be a little impulsive, but when he tried extremely hard to destroy Albina for that act, you learn that his explosive temper could all turn on all of you in an instant. Off camera, after the session ended, Ihamus had a talk with Icarus about the price of freedom and freedom of action. So, at the end of the session, we had all just entered the city of Mycenae, which is a city built for 30,000 people, but which seemed to be eerily empty and quiet.
So I will probably start testing my new ability. I want to use Protein 1 to see in darkness without no issue.
You activate glowing red eyes, no problems.
Yeah. Well, but now thinking, we essentially ended in middle of the scene, so maybe we should, I don't know, role play it a little bit.
You guys. So, you enter Mycenae. Like I said, it's a city built to fit 30,000 people. But the atmosphere, it's dark, it's brooding, it's empty. The moonlight only shows just enough of the walls that you can mark out some carvings and some writing. The large avenues are deserted. There's just the sound of a few leaves from last winter blowing through the streets in the light breeze. A few clouds in the sky. The slight chill in the air of the springtime, which brings just enough of the scent of the fields and the forest across your nose to let you know that nature still exists outside of these stone city walls.
A place like this likely has many secrets. Shame we can't stay for longer.
We've already met one secret, none which wasn't too pleasant to experience. Nicodemus tries to strain his memory a little bit. What could he remember about this city? Has he heard anything about it from his previous journeys through Greece?
Yes, there are 3 well-known facts about Mycenae. 4, actually. Mycenae is considered to be the origination of the kingdom that eventually settled on Knossos. And therefore spawned Midas. It is the home of Perseus. It is his birthplace. It is somewhere in the city is the tomb of Medusa's head.
Oh fuck, I need to find that.
And somewhere in the city is the tomb of Cassandra, the prophetess of Troy.
Oh fuck, we need to find these at some point.
Definitely. How many people that seems to be around?
Nobody's taken a census. What you can do is, if you have auspex, anybody who is using auspex hearing, just straining your ears, the city's not empty. You can detect just the faintest bit through your supernatural hearing of people breathing, maybe a few noises of conversation as people are settling in bed, things like that. But it's so faint as you strain so hard, you can't even make out where it's coming from.
Well, time to go inside the city.
So as you make your way through the streets, very little seems to actually be happening. For perspective, here is what the streets of the city look like. This is the Lion Gate of Mycenae.
Lion Gate, what is
Yeah.
special about this? In character, you can
It's just
assume
quite
Icarus' thing.
famous. It was considered to be you see the carvings of the lions. This is simply a typical example of what you see as you go through the winding city streets. And of course, they're very close together. They're not meant for vehicles. They're meant for people to walk.
But our cart can still go inside there.
Yes, it's wide enough for a donkey and cart.
It's easy to get lost in here and be compelled by this whole breathing of a city. How thirsty are we? How hungry you are? Do we have time for spare, or should we hit the road as soon as possible?
Some hunting would be good, yes, but how long do you plan to stay here?
As least as possible.
Unfortunately.
We have a job to perform, and I believe we have tallied too much for any sightseeing. There will be time for this some other occasion. Suffice to say, there's bound to be some kindred among these mortals, so we should probably exchange courtesies at the very least.
Indeed.
Ahama speaks up. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really comfortable even looking for sustenance here in this city. I would much prefer to make our way as swiftly as possible to Athens.
Why?
Well, if it's necessary, we can do it together. Like a duo, hunting, two kindred helping each other to make things easier. And in case of people doing some bad things to us, trying to do bad things, we could watch our backs.
Well,
How?
for as far as you're concerned, you may do as you wish. I am not your boss. But I am not comfortable, and I will not be leaving these avenues.
What makes you so uncomfortable about this city? Does it bring you a bad feeling?
I have a terrible feeling about this city. Plus, I hunted to satisfaction earlier this evening. And I believe we had offered each other quite a bit to at least tide us through this area. So, obviously, you have the freedom to decide your own actions. But as for myself, I and the carts will await you on the exit.
That being said, perhaps it is wise to not waste our time. If everyone's full fed, then perhaps we could postpone the sightseeing for another time.
I do need to feed a small amount, so if we
Yes. Maybe we should do it together, Het.
How
Because I wish same thing too. At least it could be good if we do it together, watching each other's back.
And how long to the next city after this?
Oh, I'm not sure. It could be 4 hours. It could be 4 days.
Is there anyone on the street to be asked?
There is not.
Splendid. No guards as well at the gate.
No, there are no guards anywhere.
Splendid. How dense were the villages on our way here? What was the last? When was the last village we passed on the way here?
That would be Argos.
And how much was that? A day?
About
or two?
1 day.
1 day. Probably a fair bet that we could find ourselves sustenance somewhere further along the road.
It has been 4 days since we last fed, right?
No, you actually fed right before you entered Mycenae because Ihamas had a incredibly successful hunting check, plus a bunch of animals were summoned.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So, as I said, Het, if it's a necessary thing for you to hunt, I am willing to help you to do so. And of course, hunting myself in the same time.
just watch my back for any outside threats.
What do you intend? Just go inside the city and snag someone in their sleep? What about domain rights? Aren't we concerned with that? Who knows?
Well-
We'll learn here.
Well, I don't know much about kindred politics, but I do know that if it's more than, 2 days, 2 nights, 4 nights, then you should need a request. But before that, you can take a snap and move on.
If you
That's
have a
not the
sincere-
same as
you can ask,
feeding.
make an intelligence plus etiquette roll.
You know what? I'm going to make an intelligence etiquette roll.
And difficulty will
Oh,
be
God.
6.
Oh god, intelligence etiquette from Icarus. Oh god, we're doomed.
I'm gonna roll that. If you don't have this skill, it's difficulty higher, right?
Correct.
What?
There you go.
We
Um,
got same success with Het.
What Icarus has said sounds correct, Nicodemus. You're not quite sure,
Even
but
when it comes to
sounds
feeding,
correct.
even when it comes to feeding,
You don't have enough successes to answer that.
yes, I've heard about not requiring to immediately report. I believe you have like 2 or 3 days, but I'm not sure about feeding itself.
So, but essentially, I want to kind of make a help action for the Het's hunting role, as well as expecting same thing for her to do.
All right. So, if the two of you are hunting together, Hatshepsut, you will be making a Wits plus Survival roll at difficulty 8. Add 1 dice because Icarus is helping you. This is for you to hunt.
Okay.
And then we'll reverse that for Icarus, but only his will be difficulty 9 because of his restriction.
Just before they go, Ihamus seems to be concerned with some bad feeling. Does any of any of us have any bad feelings about this place? Aside from what you've said.
Ouch.
Right. So Hatshepsut, you and Icarus look for about an hour, and you prowl through the empty city streets, empty buildings, empty marketplaces, and there's just no one here. It's empty, empty, empty.
What time is it?
Approximately midnight.
Oh, and side note, I also say to Het that when I hunt from when I drink from a human, I ask her to watch me out. That I won't, drink dry the person because of feeding from animals. I will have to make self-control increase difficulty. So, I'm just letting her to, not let that happen.
I'll make sure. Don't worry.
Hatshepsut, you can give up or you can make another roll.
One more roll.
It's the same difficulty.
And don't forget the dice.
Yep.
One dice.
Can I spend a willpower to ensure I find one person at least?
Yes.
A question. Because of my high dice pool, could he add 2 dice instead of...
No.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 2 people take 3 each. For like 5 total. Because of the tax, 5 total.
Okay. The grandfather appears to live. The grandmother you fed on is dying. In fact, she didn't just dying, she died. Make a conscience roll, please.
Goes downhill real fast.
I mean, that escalated pretty quickly.
Oh, I should have modified the difficulty, but it doesn't matter.
Hold on a second. Let me check the... I should get some of those freaking sticky pads so I don't have to keep flipping through the book. I seem to be slipping through this chart quite a bit.
Maybe make a small print someplace.
There should be a very good application that
So
you
roll
can
again
take note.
at... What's your humanity level?
4.
Diff 8, please. Roll at diff 8.
Oof.
That's the original difficulty?
6 plus humanity minus a level, and this is casual violation of another.
You keep your humanity.
Maybe if they were elderly, I shouldn't have taken so much.
That's okay. You succeeded. You feel very bad. However, she was old. She is probably dying anyways. And since it was just her and her husband sleeping alone, obviously she didn't even have any children or grandchildren near her to keep her company. So you might have even done her a favor.
I'll lay her out in a sort of a respectful-ish position, so it looks like she died in she just passed away peacefully in her sleep.
Okay. Icarus, it's your turn.
With survival,
Yep.
difficulty 9.
Add 1 dice because the Hatshepsut's helping you.
Rolling. So I should say that I am going to spend 1 willpower point, at least to not botch.
Okay, go right ahead.
So that makes 3 success.
Okay.
And if I take 2 from each, that makes 6
Yeah,
blood
fine.
point.
Yep.
And I
successful
will
roll, please.
for the first one, right?
6. Yep.
Yeah, difficulty 6. Okay. Yep. Let me just do that. Okay, that makes
sweet
2.
first taste of vitae hits your tongue, and it's just so good. But yet you control yourself and take only what you mean to take.
Okay. And 2 was healthy, right? Not 3. 3 was
2 is
making
fine.
roll.
There's really no
Okay.
need to do more.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
just taking 6
Hatchet's
blood
it,
point then.
what you end up seeing Icarus doing is he finds a somewhat healthy family, and he has to physically defeat them, basically. He doesn't exactly play fair, but he does what he has to do to satisfy. So what these people are going to wake up remembering is that somebody broke in their house in the middle of the night, shook them awake, made some sort of weird challenge to them, and immediately knocked them out.
Wait, is it like I'm sneaking like from the window and like, hey guy, can you please wake up? Yeah. So you see, I have to beat the shit out of you 2 feet from you. Yeah. Don't think much about it.
Single blow in the correct spot on the jaw, unconscious, minimal damage. You feed, and you go on your way.
Well then.
Okay. It takes between the 2 of you, it takes approximately 3 hours. So it's about 3 o'clock in the morning when the pair of them finally show back up.
Hopefully you find some place to rest. When we leave, we do not have much time to reach an exact.
Honestly, if we were willing to take a bit of our chances, we could probably very easily find an abandoned building that we could make defensible.
Oh yes. Wait. No. Wait, do I know your ritual of protect the haven or something?
She'll probably have mentioned it at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, you had this power that keeps sun away from rooms, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you mentioned it in
Do you
some.
do we, so here's a question. Do you want to take our chances in here or in the wilderness for the night?
The wilderness would be better.
Let's progress.
Alright then.
Well, both seems risky, but whatever the mess wants.
Icarus, make a wit survival roll with every 2 people helping you to find a shelter for the day.
Okay. Difficulty what you said?
7. You find the perfect spot, sheltered underneath a ridge, just off the track. Nobody, it doesn't look like anybody ever goes back there. Perfectly safe. Everybody, mark off a blood point when you wake up the next morning, or the next night, I should say.
I'm going to heal another aggravated damage, so
Okay.
6 blood point.
Yep, I'm looking at your head with the animalism, wolf summoning and such.
Yes, I would like to attempt to summon a single wolf.
Female, by the way.
I
That's
don't think I
important.
can specify that deeply.
Really? I thought you can specify really good with the summon. Like, it can be very specific.
I think you can specify an individual, but you can't specify like a characteristic.
Alright, go on ahead.
And of course, you will need to use animalism to command the wolf to submit to drink my blood. That's also.
No wolves in the area, apparently.
Can you try again?
Okay. Shall I do difficulty 7 this time, Chris?
Yeah.
What do you require the wolf for?
Okay.
Anyway.
A companion.
You're attempting solely to call a single healthy wolf, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. One wolf comes up out of the woods, and the donkeys start getting a little antsy. Like, Ihamus is having to work to control them as this predatory animal
splendid.
approaches.
I cannot
Well,
help. They'll become scared even more.
yeah. Well,
Hatshepsut,
it is.
can you help with the donkeys just for a moment before? Just for as long as Icarus does his deed.
Ihamus is like, Hatchet, you can help by not getting near the donkeys. Get that wolf away from them.
Well, I mean, we can drag the wolf a little bit away by animalism, then do the blood feeding. So we can just, can you come here a little bit? I don't know. Like, come.
It might be best just to scrap this plan for now. We can deal with it. We can think about it. We can think about making it work better another time, Ikura. For now, though, we can feed from it.
I'm not sure if we can find another healthy wolf. I mean, we can just do it really quickly away.
Well, are you going to feed from this, or shall I?
Are you going to feed? I thought I would give the blood and make the wolf a retainer.
It isn't going to work well with the donkeys.
Just
I mean,
yeah,
wait,
they'll feel its scent.
I understand. Okay. Then do whatever you want with the wolf.
Okay, Shepsut's going to walk over, keeping it calm with animalism, and then feed, drain.
Alright. Yeah, you feed from it. It dies. No conscious roll necessary.
Mm-hmm.
You get 2 blood points from it, so
This is
really 1, as I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. The rest of the night is pretty much uneventful. The road is very well traveled. Weather is not too bad. Icarus, make another wits plus survival roll, please.
okay.
And who drank the wolf?
Hatshepsut did.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's excellent. As you guys are finding shelter, a huge storm is rolling in, so it's even better that you found a nice protected area.
Yep. Thanks to my survival skills.
Yep. All right. Mark off another blood point, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, time for a quickie music change.
We are following a very clearly constructed path, right?
Yes, it is well traveled.
Do we see other humans on the road, or not? Pass by them.
You do not until just now, as you get up about an hour down the road. The hills and forests open up, and you see a huge, standalone mountain called the Corinth. There is you end up to the north and south is water. About 4 miles of land separate them. And there you go over a tall bridge as you cross. And underneath this bridge, you see a trench or a ditch. And there are people moving ships, literally pulling a ship across this land area. This is how Corinth makes its money. It is an extraordinarily wealthy city.
Oh, splendid.
So about an hour after dark, you cross this bridge and you see the walls of Corinth. The storm has finished sometime during the day. There's a few cloudy whiffs in the sky. The walls are constructed of stone, and you can see them in the moonlight. It's closing in on a half moon, so it's getting a little bit brighter every day or every night. The road is getting better and better as you walk to the city. So about 15 minutes after you cross this bridge, you come to the first outbuildings of Corinth. As you might expect, they're seedy, shoddy. They're little more than shacks or lean-tos, really. Looks like a strong breeze would blow them over. But as you, again, travel a little closer to the city, the buildings get better, sturdier, a little more impressive. The road goes from hard-packed dirt, is now paved with cobbles. The structures get on either side of the wide boulevard get better constructed. There's even statues of Aphrodite, Cupid, Aphrodite's sacred animals, Poseidon, and some others. So you're going through the main road of town. To the north, which would be your left, is the Acrocorinth rises up against the night sky with the main temple of Aphrodite at its top. You cannot see the Acrocorinth in here, by the way. Actually, from this perspective, you would be on the Acrocorinth. So, despite this late hour, along the boulevard is an area that will, in the future, would be known as the Rack. A lot of drinking areas, and again, you're not quite in the center of the city yet, so a lot of these areas are kind of bars, food places, lots of sailors and travelers here. Again, their main money is made with taking portage, actually literally moving ships from one side of the sea to the other. So this is a huge place for travelers. What would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna like to do hunting.
Okay. You may hunt. The difficulty is 5. How are you hunting, by the way? How do you hunt?
Offering herself to others,
Okay.
appearance, expression,
Okay. Your difficulty is 5.
seduction.
Like I said, there's a lot of people out here, and almost all of them are at least semi-drunk. So, Albina, you can take up to 12 blood points, and you are suffering from the effects of alcohol intoxication.
Can I make 2-staged hunting roll? Not necessarily hunting twice, but making a first stage to kind of make a safer hunting. Like
If you
what's
wish
in my head.
to find someone who is not drunk, the difficulty is 8.
Okay.
And it requires you to leave the safety of the main boulevard.
I understand. Well, going for my classic roll then. 8, you said. Okay.
Yes.
Like, is 9 for me then?
Yes.
You know what? Maybe I should be a little bit drunk. It's been a long while. What is my difficulty again?
5, so 6 for you.
So I take 2, 4, 6, 7. I take 7 blood. How long will this last?
Okay. Subtract 1 point from dexterity and intelligence dice pools for the next full hour.
That makes like most of my intelligence rolls 0. By
Yeah.
the way.
So that's an auto fail for anything involving intelligence for you.
Okay. Wait, okay, I had to roleplay it a little bit special there. That's that's a strange case.
Anybody else?
What was the last thing we heard about Corinth? Why
the
was
fuck
it
out.
so avoided?
That was the last thing you heard.
What was it again?
Stay out. The people nobody really knows what's going on in here, supernatural wise. There's just no news coming out.
Is it possible to move around the city? Like outside of its gates?
Yeah, there's it's not that there's people like standing guard and killing or something like that. It's an open city.
I'd like to feed, drawing people away with singing, then feeding on them.
Okay, and you are hunting here then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And not too fussed about drunkenness.
You know what? I'm really stupid right now, right? We are talking about intelligence 0. Maybe Icarus is having some fun in taverns with people, shouting, singing, telling his war stories or something. He might be a little bit off the track from
Did you say telling war stories?
Stories like battlefield stories, like I had this guy attacking.
I heard war stories. Icarus, do you want high or low?
Like from 1d100?
Yes, tell me high or low.
High. Roll.
Okay, you're drunk. You're not quite drunk enough to say really stupid shit.
Okay. So what does that mean?
It means you're telling normal war stories and not supernatural war stories.
Okay. Yeah. So I might be a little bit off track from what we are supposed to do. I might be like just And by the way, I might be kind of showing people how my dick is bigger than them. Not literally, but more like I'm so good at fight, like I'm bigger.
All right.
Who knows? Maybe it does get literal at one point.
Pick high or low again. Icarus.
Oh, okay. What about why? Wait, why do we roll again though?
High or low?
Okay. High again.
Okay. You do not get thrown out of the bar either.
Okay. Does people like me because I'm like, oh, I'm so good at
you don't rise to the level of annoying enough for people to kick you out.
Okay. I see.
Unless you're
so they are
trying
not.
to.
Wait, I wish to affect them in a good sense, like like look at me with I want to affect them in a such way, not be annoying. But okay, if you say like that, because I'm drunk, so I don't know how I'm doing it. I just wanted to make some kind of fame,
Basically, he wants to try and impress everyone there.
Yeah. I'm trying to impress people, trying to spread my name. There was this guy called Icarus in the tavern last night. Like he did so much stuff. Like kind of that, like had said.
That's gonna be charisma plus performance, and I'm actually gonna give you a bonus die for this.
Okay. Well, what is difficulty?
No, I take that back. You're gonna be charisma plus melee.
Okay.
Difficulty 7.
Okay.
And no bonus die, but charisma plus melee. As you are drunkenly telling a story, and you're like picking up a chair and using the chair to approximate the sword. You grab another chair and you're using. So you got 2 chairs in your hand. One is a shield, one is a sword, and you're drunkenly trying to explain this battle that you were in.
Okay. Yeah. Let me roll it. No.
There you
Well,
go.
it's
Well, at least you've drawn the attention of some people.
okay. Yeah. So that's probably my night at this point.
All right. Yeah. After about an hour, you're starting to sober up, and people are clapping you on the back. Hey, nice story. Here, let me buy you another one. And they're trying to shove more wine and stuff into your hands.
Yeah. No, that's a hard thing. And that's a hard thing. Wait, there's I can what is it called? You know, you use one blood point to make yourself digit things easier. You know, keep them in your stomach and that.
That's actually not blood. That's a willpower point.
Is that willpower? No, I mean like.
I think he meant blush of health.
Yeah, where you
and
look more
everything
human.
connected.
Yeah. You can do that. You can spend blood to look more
That's
human.
that's 8 minus your current humanity in blood points.
Oh. Okay. 8 minus my humanity.
Yeah.
So that makes 4 blood points. Ooh, that's rather big. Well, I'm a little bit more sober, right?
Yeah, you're starting to sober up.
Yeah, I'm like trying to find an excuse to go away from the tavern. Like, you know, it's really, I drink too much. I have to find my friend. I'm like, you know, trying to find a
Alright.
way.
Yeah, you extricate yourself from the situation and head off down the road.
Yeah, I call it. I will see you next night, man. Remember my name. Oh, my name.
All right, Hatshepsut, you said you were hunting. Go ahead and make your hunting roll, please.
I'd already made the
Oh, you already
roll,
made it?
so-
Okay. So I see 2 successes there.
Yeah, so 3 blood total due to the clan week.
And you are also somewhat drunk.
Well, you know.
All right.
Drunken Albina is going to be throwing herself at the rest of the party.
Wait, what? What was that last one?
Drunken Albina is going to be throwing herself at the rest of the party.
Betray herself at the rest.
All right. Anybody else hunting or doing something like that?
Nicodemus is going to take a stroll through the boulevard streets, as in not to get too far from the rest of the company and not get away from the main street, and he actually wants to look for any clues that would point out to anything supernatural about this place.
Okay. Well, the main boulevard, as you get closer to the center of town, gets more and more impressive. About 100 meters from the center of town, there's a huge synagogue. At the center, of course, is another temple of Aphrodite.
Synagogue as in Jewish temple?
Correct.
Okay.
You said you're going off the main road?
No, Nicodemus keeps to the main road.
Okay. Yeah, the main road essentially cuts straight through, and there is a crossroad, which is somewhat smaller, which runs north-south. And if you were to turn north, would take you to the Acro Corinth eventually.
So the peak of the mountain itself.
Yes, you would have to climb the whole mountain, of course, but you could do it. The road takes you straight there.
Oh, sorry, where is Nicodemus going?
He just strolled off down the main road.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any change in how people behave,
Not
or
really.
is this the party whole night long?
As you get away from the bars, it gets much quieter, more respectful. You're entering the public spaces where government takes place, and worship. You're getting away from the worship of alcohol and indulgence. Now you remember, Corinth was seen as a city of sin and prostitutes due to its devotion to Aphrodite. So there's more than drinking going on down there. But as you get closer to the center, it becomes less about indulgence and more about
Worship
we are Greeks
itself.
and we do have democracy and this is the public square.
How packed is the city itself? How hard would it be to find some nourishment in here?
Difficulty 8.
Okay. What about courtesans? Are there any here?
You'd have to go back to where the rack is at.
Is it possible to find some borderline where you can find some sober ones?
Yes. We'll make the hunting roll difficulty 6. But you're running the chance of catching a few sailor diseases when you feed.
Oh, yeah. Courtesans are not very good idea. Let's risk the alcohol then.
Okay. Difficulty 5. And how does Nicodemus feed? Typically. Do you stalk and take them, or what's he normally do?
Yeah, indeed. Normally he tries to find the person who's too distracted doing something else and ambushes them from behind. So
Okay.
probably a pissing drunkard is a good bet.
Yep. Yeah, you can definitely find those here.
Difficulty 6?
5. Difficulty 5.
5.
Alright, there's plenty of them wandering around.
Be right back.
Well, gonna grab a nibble of 1 and a nibble of 2 and pretend he wasn't even there.
Yep. So you are also suffering from the effects of intoxication.
Oh, splendid. It's not like any herbs Nicodemus has can cure any of this.
No, you just have to kind of wait it out.
Let's just stroll someplace and wait it out. Someplace that wouldn't be so taxing to the ravages of the beast.
Alright, so you wander off to where it's a little quiet. Not a lot of people around looking to, stumble over you or bother you.
You said that there was this main square where people are more civilized. Are there
Yep.
Are there any disputes, like people talking? Are there any rumors to be overheard? Perhaps some disputes that could be fished
the
out?
main word on everyone's lips really is the impact of. There's really two things going on here that you hear a lot of people talk about. This war in Sicily, how that's going, and all the rumors that the Macedonian Empire is making moves towards the Illyrian region of Epirus, and how it's affecting all the fleets and all the war shipping and stuff like that.
How does it seem like how do loyalties lay among the populace? Do they seem
It's hard to tell. There's just a ton of travelers here. So it's hard to tell who's native and who's not. Especially when you're a little bit drunk. So as you wander the streets and you're listening through the bars and kind of the word be on people's lips, give me a perception plus alertness roll, perception awareness roll at difficulty 6.
Perception plus awareness. Let's see. Gonna spend the willpower on that, since Nicodemus has been keeping his senses peeled for any sign of supernatural activity ever since he crossed the threshold towards the city.
That is perfectly reasonable.
So, 2.
As you guys are as you're wandering the streets and you pass the spot where Icarus is engaged in telling a rousing war story, and you kind of catch a glimpse of Albina off in one area. You look and you see somebody is kind of peeking around a corner, and you see them see you. Like, your eyes meet, and there is recognition. And it's not recognition of a good kind. And that figure turns around and takes off.
Okay, gonna go. Nicodemus immediately sobers, at least in his own recognition, and he stumbles towards, quickly stumbles towards Icarus and Albina, wherever he has seen them, and is like, "We have to go."
Yeah. This is Icarus is just now leaving the bar. Hey, see you guys later. You know, I'll catch you in a bit. You guys are all starting to sober up now. Albina's got a couple of guy friends have their arms around Albina. They're so drunk they're ignoring the bone-chilling cold that rolls off of her. And she kind of shoves them off. Okay, goodbye, guys. I have to go. Same with Hatshepsut. Hey, guys, gotta leave. See ya. You know. So you guys are all kind of gathering at the same time anyways, just as you see this happen.
Is Icarus about? What's happening is that we're departing in accelerated haste. We have no business in here.
Okay.
What's the hurry? What's stressing you?
This whole place, suddenly.
Suddenly.
I have no more explanation that I have seen an evil look upon myself, and it was supernatural enough to make me chilled to the bone. So let us pack up and leave before we put ourselves into more nonsense of negative kind. Where is Icarus? Has any of you seen him?
He is actually waiting near the center of town.
Chris.
Yes.
Should I roll my curiosity floor?
Yes. That is a great call. Thank you for remembering that.
I believe it's willpower and... What would you say the difficulty is here?
6. Nicodemus is pretty frightened, so that's a warning sign.
Okay. Hatshepsut looks reluctant, but is like, okay, yeah, let's go.
Look, we've done our business. We've
Yeah, okay.
fed, our stomachs are full.
I'm agreeing.
But
I wish you had someone.
I want to see the temple of Aphrodite on the mountain.
Next time. Look, I'll buy you a ticket, okay?
On the way back then.
Right. Yeah, you guys depart post haste. Let's make some rolls here. I gotta look up the roll for summon.
Are you heading around the city, or are you heading through it?
Straight through it. That's how the road runs.
So,
is there a way to just go around it, to like go back outside?
No,
and
it's significantly quicker to go straight through.
But in this case, some of us will have to try to slow down a little bit. But either case, Nicodemus, so what is this resource of such terror that's been on you? I mean, what is
Bad looks, bad impressions, bad aura.
Okay, but whom are we speaking about, or what?
Look, at this point, I don't know, and I don't even want to know, Nicodemus says, and he kind of looks sideways as if expecting something to leap out. It's just that I've seen someone, and I'm pretty sure he was something out of ordinary, and he meant us ill will.
I understand.
Icarus, you feel summoned.
I feel summoned.
You feel
Ooh.
summoned.
Interesting. Guys, I will head towards there.
Nicodemus, you feel summoned.
Oh, he feels much more summoned than me.
Well, I think that instead we should go and actually find the proprietor of this place.
Albina,
We've
you
been
feel
rude.
summoned.
This lack of knowledge of what's happening in the city, I cannot help but be reminded of what is the name of the place? Fuck.
Mycena.
No. Masquerade, no.
Corinth. Corinth.
Wait,
We're
Corinth.
Corinth.
Wait,
Apollonia. I cannot help but be reminded of Apollonia. Perhaps there's something else that needs to be purged.
Oh,
here.
who's the foreign botch on?
Hatshepsut, you feel summoned, and Ihamus does not feel summoned.
Wow, lucky guy. Wait, what is the result of botched summon? What
It's
is
not a
the
botch.
result?
It's a simple
Yeah, there
failure.
was one success on
Oh.
the end there.
Oh yeah. Well, I will head towards there, guys. Because I don't know. I feel something. I think it's best to go there.
What are you saying? We're clearly making apologies for bad intrusion. One does not simply go inside, feed upon your herd, and then depart. No. We have to make amends.
What? What hurt? Wait, does someone actually allow us to think like that? Because out of character, by the way. This question is out of character.
When you are summoned, you simply feel the undeniable urge to go to where you almost like home in on the person who summoned you.
Okay,
But
so
then
this,
I
again,
need to go
your
here.
mind. But then
Okay.
again, your mind would probably seek justifications. Why do you need to go there?
That is quite possible. And if you want to roleplay it like that, I am in full 100% favor.
well, I mean, there's a
Whatever.
pool.
We need to figure out what's going on in
Ihamus
there.
is like, guys, I don't think that's a good idea, but obviously he's arguing against a power he cannot counter.
He can stake all of us, drag us out.
Hatshepsut is gonna go along in the
Okay.
direction as well.
As you guys walk away, Ihamus grabs Hatshepsut, and he just shakes you. And he actually tries to drag you back, and he's like, "Snap out of it! Stop this shit! Stop it!"
Can I use a willpower point to try to resist?
Yes, you can.
So yeah, I'm going to do so.
I will as well, actually, with
How
prompting from
I do.
Ihamus.
I do have a question about willpower because we are not in the presence of the presence user. Is it like one scene, resistance one scene, or resistance per turn?
So, what you do is you must spend a willpower point and then roll your willpower at difficulty 8, your remaining willpower.
Okay.
To
Okay.
to be able to act for one round,
To be able
or to be able to break
resist
free.
the summoning for a scene.
Oh,
for a scene.
okay. Can you? Oh no, you don't spell willpower online. Ew, shit. Okay.
I mean, this out of character, this feels like some sort of storyteller leading, so I'm not sure if I should.
Well,
Or
I tried to resist, and I failed to resist. Utterly.
And it's a botch.
Well,
but can you botch a willpower?
you spend a willpower, and I have always run it where you can botch away a willpower success, but you cannot actually botch a roll because willpower counts as an auto success. So it's a simple failure, and you basically tell Ihamus to fuck off.
I'm not going to resist it. I'm actually curious about what's going to happen out of character.
Abna picks up her steak, looks at him and says, "Stake me," and offers it to him, while in her moment of lucidity.
He slams a shitload of blood into dexterity and strength. He will be spending 12 total blood, and he'll
Oof,
be rolling
that's-
dexterity plus melee.
How far are we from the gates?
It's going to take you approximately 10 minutes to get there. Not that you guys know that, but
No, the problem with summon is it can keep on while we are on the road. So, I mean,
well,
should we
you spend it
run?
and you ignore it for the scene, or basically you ignore it the rest of the. I'm gonna say for the scene, for our purposes, the rest of the night. But you don't know that obviously.
Yeah, we don't know that obviously.
Um,
I'm not resisting it because I'm curious what's going to happen, as I say. So, I mean, if this will be our end, whatever.
right. So Nicodemus looks around and he sees some people struggling, and there's a conflict upon his visage, and he actually musters his will to resist this power. So let's try this roll. Bloink.
Well,
I spent a willpower though. I don't know if it adds to the success or not.
I'm gonna say that it does, because I said it does for the botch as well. Albina, soak 4 lethal, please, to the heart.
Wound penalty also applies to soak, right?
No, it does not.
Nope. Luckily, it has nothing to do with soaking.
Well, you still take 2, which is enough to stake you.
Too little.
Awesome.
Is he going to stake us too? Or while others resisting, I'm just
Albina
drifting
literally
away?
asked to be staked.
Okay. So, wait,
How?
everyone else is resisting, right?
Well, they're
Am I
trying,
seeing-
but they're failing.
Okay. Okay. Am I seeing myself alone while walking away from
You and
the tree?
Nicodemus and Hatshepsut are all walking down the road. And
So I
Nicodemus
am
is
or
like,
I'm not.
Nicodemus is like, what am I doing? Why am I responding to this? You succeeded with 1 willpower point. Oh man. Maybe this isn't the best idea. Roll your willpower again.
No, splendid. Okay.
Oh,
Now
fuck.
now it's a bot.
You're like, you know what? This is a good idea. I'm going down the road.
So, because it's 1 success, I'm probably not in haste.
Nope.
I
I'm
believe.
confused, but okay.
Okay. Shit.
Dramatic music.
Yep.
A figure comes out from the shadows. You see a woman looking at
So, you guys,
Oh gee, no.
as you guys realize you're closing in on this, feeling, you see some high stone walls, and there's some sort of grating on top of them. And there's a gate that's open, and you enter the gate into this small courtyard, as you can see. And standing at the far end, about 15 meters away, is a tall young woman with long dark hair, wearing a long white dress, and a look of smug satisfaction on her face. All of you instantly recognize Christina, the Acadian.
Me too. Oh wait, I saw
Oh,
that
yes,
woman,
you
right?
have seen her up close and personal, and it is quite difficult to forget her face.
Yes. That was the woman next to the vent through.
Mm-hmm. Standing in the area near her are several guardsmen with spears. Behind her is a doorway, and off to one side is a shadowy figure. It looks more made of shadows and smoke than anything physical. And off to her, your right, her left, is a woman which only two of you have ever actually seen before, and you may not even remember her. Nicodemus and Albina. Well, no, just Nicodemus, actually, because Albina's staked. Intelligence plus alertness and difficulty 9.
This bitch.
I'm going to be honest, those photographs are just kind of ugly. Those women's, I mean.
I don't suppose sight merit applies.
This is memory.
Okay. Intelligence plus alertness.
Fortunately, the alcohol has all worn off.
Do those people have what is it called? Webs on their
No,
hand?
it's just a spear. They don't have nets or nothing.
Okay.
It was just a good picture that I thought. So, all right, let's see. Hatshepsut, you are wandering in somewhere. I'm just going to put your tokens on here. I need you guys to put them somewhere inside the area.
A good virtue of being a fighter is not fighting alone against 15 armed men. To know when to use words is important.
So, Nicodemus, I see a success. It sparks a dim memory in your mind. You think maybe this bitch is supposed to be dead.
Nicodemus does his best to not make it visible upon his visage.
You all look at her and you
But
realize she's the one who summoned you. And then the seconds after you enter, you hear this clang crash, and then the two statues are jammed in front of this gate, so you can't get out.
Oh well, we're not running away.
And Christina looks at all of you, and she looks straight at Icarus, and she says, "I told you I'd kill you." And a ball of green, sickly, nasty flame appears in her hand. It almost makes you look sick just to see it. And she throws it at you. Surprise attack.
Hey, I understand. Well, I do have a question. She told me she will kill me? When did she say that?
She meant for like all of us, I think.
Yeah, all of us.
You just happen to be in front.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's surprise attack. But you know how surprise attack works? I'm not going to make a rule thing, but
This is... Essentially, she's acting first initiative, and then we'll go into regular rounds.
Yeah, okay. But, okay, I'm not going to tell the real rule, but...
You guys
okay,
all walk in, and you all walk in. Oh, I'm responding to the summons. Hey, there's the lady who summoned me. And Christina goes, "I told you I'd kill you." Boom!
You don't kill me. Aggravated damage, please.
Yep.
I'm too young to die. Rah, rah. Okay, fire. Can I dodge? I mean, is it possible to dodge?
It is possible to dodge. She is using the infernal version of Lure of Flames.
Infernal,
Yes.
bitch.
It is the fire, the flames that she summons are green, not just green, but like sickly puke.
Slime-like, right?
Yeah, nasty,
slimy.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, you demon worshipper! Let me roll for dodge. I probably cannot boost my stats.
No chance to boost stats. I'm just looking the path up so I can tell you, so I can make her appropriate roll here.
Okay.
Alright.
Does my specialty footwork in dexterity applies here when I try to dodge?
No, because you're just like, oh shit, and you jump out of the way. Unfortunately, your difficulty is at 6, 7, 8, because there are 2 people on either side of you, and that's multiple opponent penalty.
Ooh, I see.
And I'm going to make a perception plus occult to throw the ball of flame at you.
ball of flame at you.
Yep. NPC.
Oh, I hope you are.
Christina.
I hope you botch. I hope you botch. Please botch. Please.
This is a weird roll. Dexterity plus occult.
Really? To throw a fireball? You roll occult?
Or sorry, perception plus occult. Because it's magic.
Yeah.
Cause it's magic.
LM. Going through the. There we go, occult.
Now, interestingly, they chose it to not be athletics. Oh, it's one success. I just need several more than that to dodge it, right? Okay.
Dexterity, athletics, difficulty 8.
8. Okay.
Oh!
Okay, guess who the ball of flame hits?
Yes.
Yeah, the woman standing right behind you.
Yeah. Can she dodge too?
Diff 9 for her, because she can't really see it coming.
Diff 10 because
Could you please describe how I dodged the fireball?
You see the ball of flame lights up in her hands and your eyes get real wide. And she goes, I told you I'd kill you, and she throws this flame at you, and you're just like, oh, fuck! And you leap to the side, you actually shoulder the guy as you stumble past him. And you end up like against the wall, and you like bounce off the wall, because you jumped so far out of the way.
Okay.
I'm assuming willpower can't be spent on this, right?
Sure.
It's
Go right
fire,
ahead.
right? It's fire, right? Maybe.
Go right ahead. You can definitely spend a willpower for this.
Okay, because I need it.
Guess what Icarus will do when turn comes to him?
Just made it. Thanks to the willpower.
1-1. So
1-1.
you leap-
A tie.
You end up leaping clear, just to a clear spot. Ties go to the defender. This ball of sickly, nasty green flame goes straight down and hits this statue. It explodes in a shower of nasty, just nasty sparks. Just and it sparks out. Okay, time for initiative.
Okay, initiative. Please roll good, please. I have to go roll. I can't even speak English at this point. I'm so scared. So 1d10 plus 8. Whoa, she has 8 too, and you rolled 9. Jeez.
Actually, okay, where's my turn order thing here? There we go. They are at the spearmen are at 17. Or actually, they're at 16 because they're at a 1 dice dex penalty because of their armor. Hashif sits at 14.
I have 16.
Does that include your armor penalty?
Ooh, yes. So because of my armor
15.
pen, that makes 15. That makes 15. Oof. Well, my action is pretty clear. I hope I will just survive till that
Nicodemus?
point.
Oh. 14. And I still gotta roll for these. 2 terrible, terrible bitches. So wits.
Please. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. If only we had a presence 5 player here. Wow. That initiative.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah. But at
awesome,
least now
awesome in a terrible, terrible way.
I know, but I hope you're not throwing some overpowered level at us at this point, because I'm...
Nope, she's literally just using thaumaturgy against you.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, for the next fire coming to me, there's like 2 guys front of me, right? Like, just asking, you know.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah,
she
so
doesn't, to be honest, she doesn't care who she hits. By the way, Icarus and Hatshepsut, roll courage, difficulty 4.
okay.
My dice pool is limited by my humanity, isn't it? For virtues.
Yes, it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
three
I
and
have 5
16.
success.
Yeah, your virtue roll is limited by your humanity level, so you still rolled 3 successes. And you rolled 3. Good for you. Neither one of you frenzies this round. And I had you guys roll it and not Nicodemus because you were the ones almost hit by fire.
Yeah, I understand. But you said difficulty is 4 for the courage, right?
Yeah, you're good. You guys are good.
Yeah.
All right.
I got 5 success. That's why because like 5 is, you know, instantly.
Hold on a second. I'm just going to reconnect a second. The connection's a bit wobbly. Just.
So,
Okay, it's working.
that's 16. Is it for all the ghouls? All the soldiers here?
Yep.
And whoa, that initiative for them, and they're human, right?
Yes, they are.
I mean, just kill us already. Why are we, why are we taking this challenge?
Okay. I am very sorry about this, guys.
You were expecting full party, weren't you?
I was expecting you guys to be like, we were warned that somebody was going to kill us in Corinth, and we're just going.
Ah.
Yeah, well, that slipped my mind, so I wasn't remembering it. Either case, I mean,
It's okay. It's okay.
if it's going to happen, it's going to.
I'm just going to have to reveal a secret I didn't think I was going to have to reveal, but that's okay. All right.
Well,
New
at
round,
least you can. At least you
Christina
can make.
summons another ball of flame, and she throws it at Icarus.
Okay, so any difficulty, and I don't know, dice penalty because of the 2 bodyguard.
Not a dice penalty, but it's a higher difficulty to actually hit you. She just doesn't care who she hits.
Oof.
Well, she hits the guard, right? She hits this guy. He's on fire.
Yeah.
Icarus,
But it was.
roll
Yeah.
courage. The 6.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She hits him. He erupts into flame. Ah!
Oh shit, that's
Yeah, you're in fear
watch.
frenzy.
Okay. Oof, fuck.
I will be controlling your character from this point on.
Really? But I want to spend 1 willpower point to take control for 1 turn. Because I have a specific aim to do when my turn
Okay.
comes. So,
That's fine.
not yet.
All right, that's her turn. This guy is going to leap on you, Icarus, on fire.
Which guy? The guy on fire.
Yes.
Oh, he's not running. He's. Oh, jeez. Okay. Ah.
He abandons his weapons, throws them on the ground, just leaps on you and your. You didn't have your shield ready, did you?
Well, my shield is on my hand, probably.
You normally carry it on your back, don't you?
Yeah, probably. So you can assume
So
whatever you want. It's
He
your
literally
choice.
leaps on you, just full-on bear hug, arms around your waist, or sorry, legs around your waist, arms around your neck, just leaps on you. Bam! So 1 aggravated damage at difficulty 5.
Okay. Why is it one aggravated?
Fortitude only.
Okay.
And it's because he's
I'm-
on fire.
Yeah. The armor does not protect against fire. Difficulty 5, you say.
Mhm.
And if I spend blood now, I can spend. I will have
You can't spend
spend
blood
one.
yet. Yeah, you can spend your fortitude blood right now if you want.
Okay, but am I going to be limited to spend 5 blood points when turn comes to
Yes.
me then? Okay, so then I'm going to roll.
Okay, you soak it.
Oof.
All right. Said man on your right here is doing a spear attack on you.
To me.
Yep.
Okay.
For 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit you for 4. You are in frenzy, and you said you're going to spend a willpower point, correct?
Yes, to take control for 1 turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to let you do that right now. You can make your action to dodge or hold that for your normal turn.
I will hold back for my normal turn.
He's rolling damage.
Yeah, because this is like this is dire survive point, and I have to do that. I have to do
1,
that.
2, 3, 4, 5. Roll. Stamina plus fortitude plus armor. Soak 5 lethal.
Okay.
Alright, you take 2.
Okay. Well, at least I'm in frenzy, so it's no dice penalty.
Correct. Guy behind you. Same thing.
Guy behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a guy? Wait, this guy? You...
Nope. That one. Because he's got the rear bonus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4.
I mean, this might be the Deus Ex moments you used for the NPCs. Might as well do it for us too if you want to.
Oh, there will be a Deus Ex moment here in a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Soak 6 lethal, please.
Okay.
Actually, nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. Soak 4 lethal to the heart.
4 lethal to the heart.
Yes, because he's got you from behind.
But it's spear, right?
Yep.
Okay. Wait.
But there's wood on it, so if
I have gone over this with him before. It will require him to soak 0 of this to be staked by the spear.
Right.
Because
I
it's got an
touch
iron
it.
tip.
Okay. Okay. So wait. I have bonus 4 from fortitude and armor.
Yep. Stamina
Okay.
plus fortitude plus armor. You soak all 4. Outstanding job.
Is there anyone left who can attack me?
You? No.
I
However,
will-
there's a guy who can attack
Chris,
Nicodemus, and
can you change this?
what's that?
Can you change the server? I don't know, change it to Europe or something, some other country.
Okay, how you guys feeling? Sound
Yeah.
better?
Yeah, I mean I can hear you now without the cuts.
Okay. Nicodemus, one guy's attacking you.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hits you for 5. What is your action? Dodge it, take it.
Dodge.
Dex Athletics.
Dex Athletics.
All right. So he only hit you for 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. Soak 3 lethal, please. That's stamina plus fortitude plus armor.
One more dice then. All soaked.
All right, you take 2.
You
Wait,
just told me to soak 3, and I. Oh, sorry, because I did the soak roll a bit earlier.
Yeah, he did
You want
the
me to
soak
repeat?
roll.
No, your full dice pool, please.
Okay.
Okay. Because he did the soak roll before you rolled the
Oh,
damage.
he did. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Is
Yeah,
it the same
so
number of successes?
yeah, so he
So
rolled.
take
no,
one.
it was.
Yeah, it's 3. So he
Ah,
initially.
never mind. I'll just take 1.
Let me
ease
scroll
the
back up.
discussion.
I'm gonna give you the better
Yeah.
dice roll here.
Yeah, well,
I see
he
3.
soaked.
No, I just mean shut up for a moment. I rolled 2 dice before you said damage,
Okay.
and then I realized I also got one dice from my armor. So that's 3 soaked.
Okay, so you soak 3. That's good. So you take what? 1 total, right?
No, 0. You said
0.
3 damage, soak 3, 0.
Yeah. Okay, 0. Good. No, that's excellent, actually. That's very good. All right, and last, it's going to be 3 guys laying 3 attacks on Hatshepsut. First guy from the front hits you for 2. Hatshepsut, what is your action? Take it, dodge it.
I'm gonna take it because I need the action for something else if I'm gonna have a
Okay.
chance.
He doesn't hurt you at all. Good for you. All right, second guy. One, 2, 3, 4. Hit you for 4 successes. This will be the guy to your upper right. Take it, dodge it.
Taking.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Soak 4.
Okay.
Okay. Last guy. Straight to your right. One, 2, 3. Hit you for 3. With 3 successes. Take it, dodge it.
Take.
One, 2, 3. Soak 3. Okay. The last ghoul is going to hold his turn. In fact, I wasn't even applying potence, which is whatever. I don't care. Icarus, you're spending a willpower point to regain lucidity for a moment.
Yes. I want to use my fire sword and attack this kindred. And I'm going to boost my stats. I'm going to wait. To open ability means it's multiple actions, right?
First, it's going to take you an action to draw your blade because you have a guy literally on your front.
It's a full action to draw my blade.
It's going to take you a full action because literally there's a guy giving you a front bear hug.
Oh, he's beer hugging me.
Yeah, he literally jumped on top of you, just wah!
Okay, so he's still on me then.
Yes.
Can I take multiple actions?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I am going to take multiple actions. I'm going to boost my stats.
Okay.
And because I spent willpower, I can't do much more with the willpower.
Right. And you are, since
So-
you are of lucidity for this turn, wound penalties affect you.
Yes. It's -1 only. So, let's see. So because I'm going to do multiple actions, there will be several things I'm doing. First, I'm going to be drawing my... well, first I'm going to be activating my discipline, Valerian 4.
You can't. You already spent a willpower point.
Sorry. I don't need to spend willpower to use the
A
power.
mental action.
It's mental.
There is a rule like that.
You can only spend one mental action per turn.
Okay. I want to draw my weapon.
Okay.
I want to boost my stats.
Okay. No roll required to draw your weapon, since it's a full action, so you just draw it.
Yeah, and I want to attack the woman.
Right. Well, you're gonna have to wait your turn on the multiple actions there.
Yeah, so let me boost my stats first. So I can spend 6 blood point. Right.
Yep.
And that means I'm going to spend 3 on dexterity,
Uh-huh.
2 on strength.
Okay.
And I'm going to spend 1 on healed to heal. That gives me no healed dice penalty.
Okay.
And my
How many actions are you
initiative,
taking this round?
drawing the blade and attacking the woman. That's it.
So just 2.
And of course, wait. Can I also do the shield thing too? And can I grab my shield too?
No.
No.
No, you're not gonna be able to grab your shield with the guy on top of you and draw your blade.
I understand. Then I just, as I said, boost my stats, draw the weapon, and attack the woman when my turn comes. I mean, the multiple action turn comes. I'm
Okay.
going to attack the woman, and my initiative also increases by 3.
No, we'll get there.
Yeah, just let me do that
Nicodemus,
correction.
you
So
are up.
I am?
Yes.
I think I lost my action anyway because I dodged.
Oh, you did? Okay, that's right. That's it?
Uh,
That's it.
Okay, the statue. Does it look like there could theoretically be enough space to squeeze through the statue and into the behind it?
No.
Okay, what's it look like it's made out of?
It's stone.
I'm gonna spend 6 blood into strength and try and knock it over.
Okay? Go ahead and spend that. I will not make you roll it. You are strong enough to shoulder smash these things aside. That's your action.
Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming I can't move.
No, it's not pretty, but you just smash these things and they fall out of your way.
But, so wait, can I still move past or not?
No. Because you're kind of stuck there, but the stones, that is no longer in your way.
Excellent.
Chris,
That
even
guy
though I already spent
Go ahead.
my action, can I still boost my stats reflexively?
Yeah, I'll let you do that.
Let's push stamina.
is it dropped on the guy, the soldier
I
here?
was actually getting ready to roll damage on him.
And just keep in mind the mass of the thing, weight of it. Just see.
Oh, it actually bounces off of him. Like, it bounces off and falls forward.
What kind of woman is that?
He's not human. He's a ghoul. I
Yeah,
didn't,
I
I didn't
mean,
even
like-
roll fortitude and potence for him, and he got 4 successes.
Oof, I see. Oof, wow, that's very hard, really.
And I didn't
But
roll
like-
his armor either.
Yeah, well, I mean, this already execution for us, essentially. So we are
Malaga
just
is
Wait, is it her turn?
It is her turn. The other woman.
Hmm.
Um, she's gonna hold her action. She's done her part. She feels that she doesn't need to do anything else. Icarus, your multiple action.
I want to attack the woman, as I said,
Alright.
with the sword.
You go up. This ghoul, who had held his action, attempts to stop you from doing so.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Wait,
So
but is it
you
contested roll?
You are going to roll your dexterity plus melee. You have 3 multiple opponents on you.
When I move, isn't it 2? Oh
You
wait,
have 1
3
guy
and
actually
woman.
on you. Plus
Ooh.
these other 2. Well, actually, it can be 4. So penalty for 4 multiple opponents, minus your 2 dice for dice pool. So dexterity plus melee, minus 2 dice, difficulty 10. And this guy is literally attempting to stop you. He's attempting to like jam his spear in and get in front of you to take the hit. If you succeed.
Minus 2 and difficulty 10. Wait, is it minus 2 counting my what is it called?
It's counting your multiple action penalty.
Yeah, and did you add the armor penalty too?
Well, I assume you're taking care of that for your dexterity roll, so minus 3 dice.
Okay. Okay, so minus 3 dice and difficulty 10. And if I succeed, am I going to attack the woman or the man?
If you succeed, you're going to hit the guy.
Okay, and there's a man on fire on me, right?
Yep.
And I am next to the woman, right?
He is trying to wedge himself in between you.
So you're okay.
Go
So
right
the
ahead.
fire is not even from that distance. Fire does not affect. Make a courage. Not okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
he successfully wedges himself between you. So he kind of like bounces her out of the way. Alright, she's not. This isn't the exact lineup, but he wedges himself in there because he got more successes than you did. And he succeeded in hitting you with the spear, so you don't get a real good strike off. And he only got 1 success. So I'm actually going to make it a chance. I'm going to give it a 50% chance that he hits, 75% chance he hits his buddy instead of you. He's got to roll over 75 to hit you. He hit you.
I'm just waiting to die here. This is literally.
1, 2, 3. Soak 3 lethal.
Okay.
Alright, you soak it. And now for the secret that I really didn't want to reveal. Somebody which only Labiena has met. Actually, I think a couple of you guys have met her. But Labiena in particular spent quite a bit of time with her. Let me put the picture on Discord so you guys see who this is. Characters.
I am, by the way, now playing before the ghouls because I have higher initiative than them.
Well, you're also in Frenzy, and I'll get to that in a second. Come on, haste.
Yeah, I want to spend 1 more willpower to take control. I'm going to spend 1 more willpower to take control.
goes. That finally dropped.
I mean,
Okay.
Oh
I'm-
yes!
And by the way, as I said, I'm going to
Oh,
take
nice.
spend one more
Yep,
willpower
I'll
to
get to
take
that. Give me a
control.
second, please.
Um,
All right. So the lady I just posted up, her name is Aletheia, and she is a Childa of Artemis. And she has been tasked with ensuring to your safety as much as possible without letting you know she was there. And unfortunately, she now has to break concealment to help you. What you guys see is the sudden appearance, in quite literally out of midair, of this lady in armor with long black hair, wearing a unusual mixture of metal and leather, and she literally just drops out of the sky like the snap of a finger. Poof, she's there. And she reaches out and she grabs Nicodemus with one hand, Hatshepsut with the other, and she literally throws them over the wall, with one in each arm. You're talking, this is strength 9 plus potence. She launches
Over the
them
wall?
over the wall.
Wait, so there's nothing above the wall? Like there's no roof?
There was a grating. You're talking, she has about a strength 12 at the moment.
No, we're more surprised there's no roof.
No, this is like a courtyard.
You probably mentioned it, but
Yeah, it's
Not
an
in
open courtyard.
Oh, we could just jump then, like jump out of.
You might have been able to. But
I
to
mean,
be,
I
to be
thought-
fa-
Okay. Because I thought it was a closed place, not open. So I thought like when
Nope,
the
I said it was a courtyard.
oh my mistake. Well, I could just go for the jump then, just try to jump out of the courtyard.
Christina sees this happen and she lets out a scream of pure rage. Ah! She shrieks. Ah! Oh, she is pissed. Now she has a choice. Who does she attack?
Yeah. Attack me, please attack me, please. I
She is.
deserve to die. Yeah, please attack me.
She backs off.
Unlucky my decisions.
She backs off a bit, and she launches another ball of fire at Icarus. And this will hit the person in front of you, by the way. Minimum, he's getting hurt. And he is still on fire. And is still burning you. Oh, okay. Alright, you are taking 2 ag at diff 6, please.
Okay. I'm going to spend blood for auto fortitude.
Okay.
So 1 goes, and I take 1 aggravated.
Yep. And now soak another one at difficulty 6. As the guy that's on fire is now more on fire and he's still clinging on to you.
I understand. Difficulty 6, okay.
You're good to go.
Whew.
Your turn.
Yeah, so, you know what, okay. Oh,
I'm sorry, I
do you
missed
guys,
that. Go ahead.
okay, yeah. If I want to attack the woman, what's going to be difficulty and penalty and all those stuff? What am I looking at?
Are you doing
Just
multiple
getting
actions?
I just want to go and kill the woman, that's it. I want to go and fire sword and just execute her.
Well, so you're dex
That's it.
melee, -1 dice, diff 10.
Still diff 10, okay.
Yep, multiple opponents.
Yeah, but I'm going to 5 blood point. I'm going to spend blood to increase my stats even more. And you know what I'm going to do? First, I want to heal that bruised, and that leaves me with 4. And I'm just going for.
Wait a minute. How are you healing a bruised?
It's little. I have like 1 aggravated, 1 little. I'm
Okay.
healing the little. And I'm going to spend the 4, which means I can go above 1 of my limit. So I'm just like increasing strength by 2 and dexterity by 2. So let me roll for the damage. -1, you said.
Yep.
And if 10, you said.
Yep.
I roll 4 damage. Whew. And then also I forgot that.
She has a dodge attempt.
Yeah, wait. I forgot one of my dices from the bonus coming from the above maximum stat. Can I roll for that one die?
Sure. Roll 1 extra dice because she's rolling Dex Athletics as a dodge multiple action.
And factor, right? Like even from that distance, she still doesn't make courage roll. I don't know, too short.
Ooh. Wow.
Actually, this should be diff 7, but she still did 1, 2, 3 mini successes.
Yeah.
All right.
Many successes.
Yeah, I will have her roll courage because you are now attacking her with a flaming blade. So that is going to be a courage roll for her. And she has 5 dice for that. Come on. Thank you. Can't type today, apparently. Yeah, she simply steps to the one side. Your blade sweeps past her. Again, as you're carrying this dude on you, that has to be why you missed. You're still carrying this guy's whole weight on your body. She just steps aside, and your blade sweeps down. Whoosh, misses her.
Okay, just give me the goods. I'm ready to die.
And Alethea uses her action to get the fuck out of dodge. I'm going to fast forward this. As the rest of you guys are running away, the ghouls leap on Icarus and begin stabbing him into oblivion. As the carts and everybody is like rumbling down the street in a panic. Just trying to get out of Corinth as fast as you can. The flames finally destroy Icarus's body. And as your body disintegrates and your spirit begins to separate to the underworld, the shadowy figure in smoke and darkness reaches out a hand, and your soul flies to his hand, and he physically grabs it. And this figure looks you dead in the eyes and says, "Before you go to your reward in the afterworld, you will go to Hatshepsut and tell her we have her Childa. Now go." And he lets you. Poof. You are compelled to obey.
She's doing that to my soul.
Yes.
Okay. We have her chiller.
Mm-hmm.
Who's
I have a
chiller?
Wait,
That's
shit,
it.
I have a childer?
Does she? Yeah, does she have a child?
I urge you to think back about 3 sessions ago when you succeeded in half destroying an entire village.
Haha, I knew it.
Okay. Yeah, the child. She gives
She
the blood.
thought she saved? Yeah, she damned.
Okay. Yeah, and she gave order to my soul. Okay. Well, I mean, if I'm going to obey
hold on
it.
a second, as the carts are rumbling down the street as fast as donkeys will go. as you are holding onto the cart, and you look behind you, and you see the spirit of Icarus somehow keeping pace with these, just streaming, just easily flowing along the street with you. And it gets on the cart, and the spirit of Icarus begins to speak to you in the language of the dead. Icarus, what have you to say?
Whatever the woman said, I must obey, so I don't have to roleplay. I assume it's just command.
Well, you can put in your own words, so long as you get the message across.
The infernal build.
Hatshepsut's words will be like mine. Wait, I have a child?
It seems like.
Does any else of us witness this?
Only Hatshepsut, because she has the medium merit.
Oh, fair enough.
You should go back. She will make a offering.
I'll consider that. Icarus? Farewell.
No, fuck this. I didn't want to leave you too. It was too boring. He's looking, by the way, a little bit sad and disappointed, like trying to conceive the real emotions.
Guys, Icarus is dead. Icarus is definitely dead, not captured.
That's some relief. I couldn't imagine the torment they would offer to him should he persevere. However, they may still have his soul, but I'm sorry. Continue.
Apparently I have a child that I didn't know about.
What?
And apparently they have them.
So, how do you know?
That's what they told him to say.
Oh, the spirit. Oh, it does mean he's in their grasp. Those vile creatures. But you know, they may be manipulating you. Take these words with a big grain of salt.
Where would I have? Oh. Oh dear.
What does this oh dear mean?
Remember that village?
The bloodbath we left?
Before that happened, I'd had to feed on some children. I took a bit too much blood, tried to give the child a point of blood to save them. I may have miscalculated.
What, you embraced accidentally? I didn't think it was possible.
I thought I'd ghouled them, but I suppose it's possible if I had acted too late.
Nicodemus looks to the side and he's actually fighting with himself for a moment before speaking. I don't like to say these words, but what do you think they hope to gain by this leverage? They hope to play on your feelings? You barely had the bond with this person that you've embraced. It's a cruel thing to admit it, but do you feel you should take responsibility?
Somewhat. The question is,
Or perhaps you're afraid that they have a link to you. Is that even possible? Nicodemus
might-
thinks for a moment.
it might be. But all this, um, I don't know. This isn't exactly a situation that I've been able to prepare for. I
Mhm.
I Hatful's silent. She doesn't really know what to say.
You have to regain your focus. We have all made takes going here, and they are out there to exploit us. With every step we take and every deed we commit, there's always a bit of scrutiny, and they have weapons and they have words. You need to seal your mind and resist whatever they will try to use it in your future, in the future. Right now, there's heat of the moment, and we have to leave the grieving after Icarus for another night. For we need to take as much distance from this place as possible.
You're right. Just hope that whatever they're planning for that kid, they make it quick.
Nicodemus grimaces in a strange manner, and he says nothing, but in his mind he already knows that's not true. The, the horrid visions of torment suddenly sprout to Nicodemus's mind, as if he imagined this person who has no face being subjected to all kinds of torment aimed to break his will.
That seems like a good time to take a break, guys. Let's take 10. Be back in 10 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So thanks for rejoining us after that quick break. And we are on the road from Corinth, moving desperately down the road, actually.
Without no Pathfinder.
Um, Fortunately, as we've said before, the path is very well marked. It's just tough to find shelter. That's where you can be sure you're not going to be disturbed. So, Ihamus is driving the donkeys and getting you guys out of there as fast as humanly possible. As you are just leaving the city, Alethea, this fairly large bat, larger than average bat, flutters down out of the sky and lands on the cart where most of you guys are riding, and transforms into Alethea. And the first thing she does is grab Nicodemus in a hug. She reaches out, grabs him, pulls him into an embrace, and hugs him tight. She says, "I'm so sorry for you."
Thank you for pulling our sorry asses out of this heat. It's a shame Icarus couldn't be saved as well. But if it wasn't for you, Balai would be dancing around free pile of ashes.
Well, his warrior death was certainly a credit to Mars. I understand he professed to worship Athena, but his behavior was far more in line with the worship of Ares. Even so, perhaps when we remove the stake from her tomorrow night, Albina will be able to provide suitable funeral service for him.
Yes. So you've been following us.
More specifically, I've been following Labiena.
It's fortunate that she has such a stalwart guardian.
When Artemis agrees to the terms of a bargain, she sees it through no matter the cost. And I am the cost.
Nicodemus looks at her a bit sideways, as if curious what kind of undertone does this message carry.
Relax, there's no danger here.
But is there any sort of regret that she's put in this situation, or she's happy to trail her own?
She does her duty.
Does that mean that from now on you'll be accompanying us a bit more revealed, or you prefer to stick to...
I prefer to stick to the shadows. If your enemies do not know I'm there, they cannot counter me.
This is a sound tactic. I applaud. Very well, we promise to attempt to not force you to reveal yourselves, especially not in anything drastic as it is. On a good note, we at least know a little bit what's happening in Corinth.
Well, I urge you to be a little more careful. And she stands up and she taps Ihamus on the shoulder, and she does the two-finger points to her eyes and then points at Ihamus, the I'm watching you, universal I'm watching you symbol, and turns into a bat and flies away.
Well, on the plus side, at least we won't have to worry about him frenzying anymore.
I'll refrain from making comments on this. I think it would be unjust for this man to be judged solely based upon this. He was our comrade, and his arms and skills have more than once aided us in our cause.
True.
I hope
I know.
that his soul finds solitude and freedom from Balai's influence.
He's hoping.
How many nights to Athens?
I think, Ihamus says, I think it's like 1 or 2, 1.5 maybe. I guess it depends on the weather. And even as he says that, another storm begins rolling in.
Here's a thought that I would like you to all to consider. Now that we know that Balai are controlling Corinth, what do you suppose is happening in Athens? I mean, they're supposedly to be all right, but who knows by proximity how many agents the Balai have in there? Is it good to inform the Prince of Athens about having Balai agents so close to his precious city?
We're gonna have to hope that the prince hasn't been compromised. If he has been, then well, we're kind of fucked already.
Well, I think it will be known as soon as we cross the threshold. It's not like we have much choice, but we shouldn't let our guard down when we're in Athens.
Indeed.
What do we know about Athens? We know who to meet, but do we know anything about him? Have we heard anything?
You do
about
know
him?
where he usually can be found, under the main library, and he usually likes to set a test to keep the unworthy out. Some sort of puzzle.
Oh, splendid.
Um,
On the history of Athens, that's what we heard.
yeah, Athens is historically Brugia and Toreador controlled.
But as knowing much about Athens history, we're probably not having much luck.
What you have heard of Athens' history is pretty biased by Artemis' telling of it. So take that into account.
That's because of the often conflict of Sparta and
Yeah.
Athens, right?
Correct.
Also, Athens back in was in large part, not completely, but in large part a Bruja thing.
Yeah. Well, her whole thing is they're cowards, and they refused to face anybody, and they just left their whole city to be sacked. That's not the act of a warrior scholar. That's the act of a coward. And that's the origin of her hatred for Brugia. So anything she has said about the inhabitants of Athens is tainted by that viewpoint.
We have probably met enough Bruja to acknowledge that some of her stories could be colored. Very well. Let's go.
All right, Ihamus is going to roll a wits plus survival, and he's spending a willpower to find shelter, and he's only going to get one shot at this because he's the one rolling.
Helping.
Yeah, I'll help as well.
Do you have survival?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. That does help.
You know, if all that hadn't happened, I was actually
Okay.
hoping to get an animal retainer for myself.
Chris.
Yes.
Only the experience is left. Spending the experience. Other than that, you can check the basic shit. You can check the
I'm gonna
basic
check
shit.
that real quick. So you guys, it takes actually, with the weather, it actually takes 3 nights, and on the 4th night, so you're gonna spend 4 blood total. Albina, you are unstaked over the course of this, of course.
And can I use my blood to heal my 2 little and heal 1 other aggravation?
Yes, you can. So, the city of Athens, as you roll up on it.
And how much days did you spend on the road?
This will be the 4th night when you come up on Athens.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna switch music here. This is what I want. Let me put this on the music player. All right. Let me get on the sheet here. Athens.
That's how you pronounce it, or Salmat, or
Athens or Athens. I gotta look it up here on the handouts.
or
Shalmath. 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 Something like that.
Is he the prince, or he isn't, or he's just a
His title is the Keeper of the Chronicles. That's actually how he is referred to.
But is he the kindred ruler of the city?
No,
or
he's
is
not.
Not disclosed to us
No,
very well.
it's not disclosed. So,
Interesting.
the night you arrive at Athens, the sky has once again cleared from the spring rains. The city of Athens is very much like Corinth, only larger. It's steeped in history and reverence, and even as you approach from the north, and you see the hill in the center laid out in front of you, the Acropolis, with the gleaming temple of Athena on it, and in the moonlight, which is now edging towards 3/4 full, you can just make out the sparkle of the statue of Athena on the hill. You think just from this far away you can make out the golden tip of her spear sparkling in the moonlight. The view is amazing, in a word. Amazing. The city's massive. From its walls, a slum neighborhood stretches out to the north. And you can see the stone walls. And you approach Athens from the north, as I said. And you pass underneath the arched gates. And you enter a city that shows a mixture of human recklessness mixed with civic pride. There's carvings and statues everywhere. There's really no fountains, but there's just ground pools every few blocks. The streets are, of course, narrow and closely packed. And every few blocks, it'll be houses, an open block for public gathering, and then there will be some food places and drinking places. So you can still smell the smell of food in the air mixed with human waste, because admittedly, it's not as engineering advanced as Rome, so there's no gutters in the streets to wash the waste of people away and stuff like that. So you have all the problems of humans living in a crowded city. But there's carvings everywhere, there's statues everywhere. There's a few lamps burning oil every so often. Smell of food and just people enjoying each other's company. Just the feeling in Athens is almost the exact opposite of Mycenae and Corinth. This is a city where people are happy. So, Nicodemus, since you are the one most likely to have been here before, charisma plus legerdemain to ask directions to the library.
Sure.
It's going to be diff 6. People are more than happy to explain how to get there. The library stands in the shadow of Athena's spear. To the west of the library is the Agora, which is the public buildings. The library is not so grand as it'll one day become, but it is a pretty grand building, to be honest. This is about what it looks like. Will look like in the future, but one day it'll be this good. you approach it, like I said, you go around the Acropolis to the south of it, and you come up on the library, and it's got a courtyard in front and around it. It has an air of solidity. This is the building that belongs here. Even from the plaza, you can smell paper. An aura of quiet, peaceful solitude hangs over the building. There's some statues in front of it. And there's a single guard standing in the doorway. Just visible in the moonlight.
How many people are around? What time of night is it?
It's about 10 o'clock at night, and there's actually nobody around the library.
Does it seem like it's open?
No, it does not. There's no real lights burning inside of it, and just the one single guard standing in front of the closed door.
Okay. Nicodemus approaches.
Guard stands there.
Excuse me, is the library still open?
No, the library's not open. I'm afraid no one is allowed in after dark. The danger of fire is too high.
Oh, I see. We've been dying to see the great library of Athens, but we only have this night to spare. Is it possible to make an exception?
We do not plan to light any fires, to use any torches or candles.
I'm sorry. No one is allowed in the library after dark. The danger of fire is too high.
Can I tell if he's dominated to say that of
Yes.
his like mental
That's
faculty?
wits plus occult.
Nicodemus is going to try this as well because this
I'm
sounds
actually
like
just going
too
to let
much.
Albina do it because she has
Okay,
dominate
sure.
in clan.
Mhm. That's fair.
Yes, this sounds like conditioning.
Who has posted you here, Glassman? Your master. We believe we have dealings with him.
I'm sorry, I cannot allow anyone in after dark. The danger of fire is too high.
We do not require entrance to the library. Merely to see about speaking with your master. Would you be able to deliver a message to the library?
When he says that, roll perception plus empathy. Yeah, when you say that, roll perception plus empathy.
Just Albina again?
Yeah, just Albina, because she's like standing right in front of him, so she can see him do this. His eyes flick to something behind you.
She turns around.
All you see behind you is the 4 statues.
Nicodemus looks kind of puzzled between the guard, Albina, and whatever she was looking behind.
Hat will look at the turn to look as well,
Okay,
and
go ahead.
just after a moment, we'll approach the statues and try and without touching, try and get a close look at them.
Please roll perception plus occult.
Okay. Difficult.
6. Okay. There is something, you don't get enough successes to know what, but there's something unusual about these statues.
How does the how does the guard seem to react to all of this? Is he still standing and staring at the
Yep.
statues?
He doesn't stare at it, but his eyes like flick over to look at him real quick.
And when Hatshepsut approaches to investigate them, does he make any kind of
No, he does not.
reaction to this or no?
He makes no move at all whatsoever.
What the statues look like? Do they all look like the same thing? Do they
They
have
are-
any difference?
They are not the same. They look like they have the same figure in all four of them, but he's in different positions. You're a little too far away to make them out, though. You're gonna have to get a little closer look at them.
She's going to approach.
Okay.
Nicodemus goes as well
Okay.
to investigate the statues.
Nicodemus, again, you have the best chance of knowing this. Roll intelligence plus academics.
Oh, actually. Okay, intelligence plus academics. How many nights have passed since we came here from Corinth? 2 at least?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. You're not quite sure, but you think that these represent a figure of historical importance to Athens. You're going to need a little more study to figure this out.
Okay, Nicodemus approaches the guard and asks, "Listen, it's been a while since I came to Athens, but could you refresh my memory and tell me and remind me who those statues represent?"
I'm sorry, I cannot allow anyone into the library after dark. The danger of fire is too high.
But we're not going to the library. We want to know about those statues. That's not a problem, huh?
He is just repeating this over and over in a deadpan voice.
Broken guard. All right, so let's see. Nicodemus is going to try and examine them for any kind of specific, those statues for any kind of specific features that would relight some of his knowledge.
Right. Make a perception plus occult roll, and it's been long enough that you guys can all make this roll now that you're all kind of examining the statues.
Perception plus occult.
Oh!
Is that site based, or is it more?
No one else
probably
needs to
more
roll that.
Okay.
Both of you, Albina and Hatshepsut, see that there is a mystic writing. Part of this phrase appears on all four statues, and when read together, it says, "Wisdom and knowledge need each other. Demonstrate one to earn the other." And you instinctively understand that the statues are the key to what you're trying to do. So as you begin examining them, again, it's time for intelligence plus academics from Nicodemus.
Let's push willpower into this.
Okay.
As it seems the famous test begins. 3 successes.
You got it this time. The four statues represent the stages in the life of Ajax, the hero of Athens. Ajax represented brute strength, where Odysseus represented intelligence and wisdom. The four statues are in various poses, and there's a title under each one. The first shows him lifting a huge stone. Anybody examining this, please roll perception plus enigmas.
Perception plus
Difficulty?
6. Alright. There you go, Hatshepsut, and definitely Nicodemus. Between both of you, you realize that the stone is loose, and it's meant to be picked up and placed in his hands.
I will do so.
Okay, you're gonna have to spend blood for this. You need strength 6.
Actually, Nicodemus, would you mind doing?
Does it seems like we really need to pour blood to yeah, brute strength is the only solution to pick this up, or is it because it's a huge
Because
rock,
it's a
right?
huge stone.
I believe I'm a bit famished, and that would pose some unnecessary risks to handle this.
Ihamus will step up and do it. I'm sure Alban is down quite deeply in blood as well for healing all that stuff.
Thank you, Alex.
You move on to the next one. It shows Ajax. He's standing in a heroic pose. And a purple sash. It's him and another figure who is carved as smaller. And they seem to be handing something to each other. The smaller figure is handing a blade to Ajax, and Ajax has something in his hand, and it's actually fluttering in the breeze. And it's a piece of purple cloth. This is going to be another either wits plus enigmas or wits academics. Awesome. Nicodemus, you will recall the tale from the Trojan War of Ajax and Hector's duel. And neither one could successfully beat the other. And they finally, even though they were both mortal men with no help from the gods, and finally they called it a draw, and as a sign of respect for each other, Ajax took Hector's sword, and he gave Hector his prized purple sash. So you should take the sash and tie it around Hector's waist.
Wait a minute. In the Iliad, no help from the gods? What is this madness?
Yep. Ajax and Hector were one of the only ones who got no direct help. Like, I think only
no
once
buffs.
each one got help.
It's madness.
Okay, let's do this. Does it require blood?
No, it does not.
I mean, let's do this.
The third one, there is shows Ajax standing over a bull and with a raised knife. The bull is on its back, hooves in the air and twisted. And if this statue is carved to life size, Ajax was a giant man. He has the knife up, poised to strike the death blow on this bull. And this is a sacrificial pose. You can roll intelligence plus theology or intelligence plus occult.
Ooh.
Intelligence plus occult.
Is he the only one that can roll this
No,
one?
everyone doing the test can do this. Awesome. Nicodemus and Alban are pretty sure that they know what to do, but Hatshepsut is definitely sure that you should remove the carved knife from his hand, which is actually surprisingly easy to do. You thought it would be one piece, but it's not. And then plunge it into the bull's heart, where again, it's a stone carving, and it should have just like bounced off, but it does not. It plunges into the bull. The last statue shows Ajax tired, sorrowed, his head in his hands. He's got the sword of Hector out, just like draped across his lap. This depicts the suicide of Ajax. And this is going to be another wits plus academics or wits plus enigmas roll. Okay. Somebody has to impale themselves on the sword.
I'll do it.
Okay, courage, please. Div 6.
Hold on. No, peaceful touch doesn't help with courage. No cheating.
Th-
Does it?
You're not gonna frenzy. You're just not. If you fail, you just can't bring yourself to do it. And if you botch, you can't even be talked into it.
Can I spend a willpower for
Yes,
this?
yes, you can.
Difficulty 6.
Yes.
Was it? I stabbed myself.
Ooh, messy.
Hooray for self-harm! Wait a minute.
Just hope you don't crit and torpor yourself.
Okay. No, you impale yourself on it, and you take one lethal, unsoakable, but you take it. Oh, that hurts a lot. Pull yourself off, and you hear a grating noise of stone. And in a lower
Crit?
part, you hear there's a new stone recess underneath the library.
Chris,
Yes.
out of curiosity, I'm at full willpower right now, but if I weren't, would that have triggered my masochist nature?
Oh, it does trigger your masochist nature. You cannot heal that until tomorrow.
I meant the floor, yeah, but I mean the archetype.
Oh, yeah. Oh. You might actually hold yourself on the blade for a moment or two, like, oh god, that hurts so good.
Are you alright, Hatshepsut? We should be going.
Yeah, hold on. Okay. Alright, I think I'll remember this now.
Yes. So the statues represented the life of Ajax from his lifting of the boulder to prove his strength up to his suicide at shame of his actions at the end of the Trojan War. So you notice that there is a new opening just underneath the library, off to one side.
Unless Mr. Guard has any objections, we should probably go inside.
He doesn't even look at you guys. His goal is to guard the front door. That's his job.
Good man.
You know, it occurs to me. It's a bit odd for a Brewhouse to be using Dominate.
He's supposed to be.
I think
guess-
that's... Sorry?
Sorry, go ahead.
I think that might have been part of the puzzle. A hint. But yes, I agree. It's uncommon for them to use them.
I imagine he must be powerful and old, so such disciplines is not beyond his reach.
True.
Well, there's another merit to be using such crude methods. The guard would not be coerced into helping us, sharing us, or being convinced otherwise.
Regardless.
So in this case, a perfect setup. Let's see what's inside.
Okay, you get there's a steps descend. There's a spiral steps, and it goes in 720-degree circle on your way down. So it gets very dark very quickly.
I activate my blind sight, dark sight.
gonna hold one head towards the wall to not fall down on the tricky steps. And just
Using
press.
my knight.
Okay, yep. So, after the staircase, it opens up into a room. It's lit only by a couple of candles, just enough to see in the dim light that the walls are lined with scrolls. With your merits or auspex, that offsets it just enough. With dark sight, you could definitely see a lot of detail. With auspex, it's just enough to offset the darkness where it's only a little bit of a penalty. The room is roughly laid out in a hexagram. On three of the walls, on three of the walls, directly across from you and to your left at an angle and to your right at an angle are doors. And on every spare surface, other than that, along the walls, are shelves lined with scrolls. There are two people in the room with you. One of whom is incredibly ugly, hideous, just hideous, nasty. The mouth is gaping, big gaping hole. The nose is like all squished in, completely bald, pointy ears. Definitely a Nosferatu. Wearing a cape of some kind with a collar up around its face. And there's an old man that is also in the room, which I'm getting ready to put his photo on Discord here in a second. So just gotta call up my pictures. He's got a beard, dark curly hair mixed with gray. His voice is very quiet. He speaks in hushed tones. Welcome, strangers. Please enter my library. Know that seekers of knowledge are welcomed in my home. I am Shalmuth, the keeper of the chronicles. May I have your name?
Good evening. I am Nicodemus. Nicodemus speaks, and he actually lowers his tone to nod, as if not want to disturb the sanctity of this. He lowers his head respectful, and it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, good host, and I manage this chamber is sight to behold. I am enthralled by the secrets, by the law and knowledge locked within it.
Well, thank you very much. And he looks at Hatshepsut and Albina. And you, fair ladies.
Albina gives him a polite courtesy. And Nepalas, it is a pleasure to be welcomed in such house of learning.
I am Hatshepsut of the Falls of Set. Likewise, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance and to even just bear witness to such a collection of lore.
He's staring at all of you. Most likely reading your auras. And he relaxes.
By this
unfortunate that we have not come here solely for to see knowledge. For we have something that we wish to discuss with you. Should spare a moment of your time for us, we would our case very brief.
Yes, of course, I can spare some time. Let us draw up a stool, and we can relax here in the comfort of my front chamber. Oh, my other guest here, the Nosferatu. Would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Of course, as you please. My name is Bill. I'm the charming whisper of Russia. You might wonder why a Russian Nosferatu is here in Athens. Well, that's a long story, my dear. It's a long, long story. I'm pleased to meet you. And please repeat your names again for me.
I'm Nicodemus. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I am Hatshepsut.
Beautiful name. Oh, you're beautiful, Albina. The very precious skin of you. Pale, yet elegant as snow. Are you guys hearing me?
Yep. So let us relax. We can perhaps exchange tales of the road. I will offer you the safety of my library for the morning rest. Perhaps you may wish to explore our great city and refresh yourselves at some points tomorrow. So, but for tonight, we shall talk in safety, and then we shall rest in safety.
This is very kind.
Indeed.
We are thankful for this hospitality.
Yes. I'm very, very thankful for allowing me to read those precious, wonderful books, the parchments. And may I join you, friends, for tonight? It's very wonderful to see new faces around the world. You don't know what may come upon those of lucky.
You don't have many visitors.
Oh,
Often.
I had many visitors, but it's long past those times. Now I am the visitor. If you understand what I mean. Then the chuckle comes and it's very cringing the ears. It sounds like some bone is hitting flesh. And then there's like spits of blood is coming from the mouth. Tiny spits.
Oh, where are my manners? I am of Clan Bruja. As you know, I am the keeper of the chronicles, and I've been here for many a year, since long before Artemis even set her sights on our city, since before even Mithras influenced the Persians. Yes, it's been so long I can hardly recall. Anyways, I do prattle on. The company of my scrolls and books has, I'm afraid, left me with rather limited social skills for company.
Oh, but you're the host, kind sir. There's no need to to apologize. In fact, I respect you for your noble duty to this place. For knowledge is the ultimate. For knowledge and lore is the ultimate understanding of how things work. One without knowledge is like a bare bones, stripped of any thought of it or experience. Where would we be if we not preserved the precious treasures of civilization? I hope, however, for your sake, it has not been a taxing duty.
The legendary temperament of my clan is brought to rest when I caress one of the repositories of knowledge. It soothes my beast. So long as I hold one in my hands, I simply find the stress and the temper of the beast just recedes.
Sounds like a blissful salvation. Huh. It is a naive envy I share for you. However, we've been tasked with something that that requires your attention. Um, I would ask that these inquiries would be made to your ears alone. And Nicodemus looks kinda apologetic towards the Nosferatu.
Oh, please excuse me. Sybil, would you mind retreating to the guest chambers? If the situation requires, I shall call out for you.
Oh, of course, for all things you've done, this will be a very disrespectful for me to disobey. Then I just like withdrawing to whatever place he wanted me to go.
To the chamber, to you as you guys entered, the door on your right is where the guest chambers would be.
Please refresh my memory. Do we actually have letters to give, or just?
No, there are no
was
letters.
it oral?
Yep.
Only
just
oral.
verbal,
Okay.
yes.
So once Sybil is retreated, Nicodemus nods approvingly, and he says, "We have an invitation for you, our lords, and we present ourselves as emissaries from Rome, and we seek to invite you to a meeting that would hold on Crete, with Helena of the Toreador as the host. And the point of this meeting is to discuss alliance against the influence of Mithras."
Mithras rears his ugly perfumed head once again, huh?
Perfumed? I wasn't aware there's such an epithet to be used towards this ancient Canaanite.
Yes, I faced him eye to eye at Marathon. He has curly dark hair and put oil mixed with herbs in it, a vanity of his culture. A pleasant smell to cover up the rot and filth of his personality.
This seems like an unfortunate encounter.
We are still here. They were driven off. So, I don't recall you giving your clans when you gave your names. Could I have that information, please?
Oh, my apologies. It seems numerous nights on the road has roughed my etiquette as well. I am of the clan Salubri, and he kinda lowers his head a little bit as if indicating a bit of a scar. Should he want proof of that?
I am of the blood of La Sombra.
I'm with the followers of Set.
Yes. I hear from your accents that two of you are quite far from home. Tell, Madam, Miss Albina, do you suffer from or enjoy the longing of the sea and the waves as so much of your clan does?
We live always close to the waves the way that I see it. Always a step away from the ocean, from the Mediterranean. Mm. Though sometimes, yes, I have been feeling more comfortable at sea than what I had felt in much of the places that we had visited at land.
I have
Did
long
Alvinus
wished to have long wished to know the answer as to why. There's many theories as to why La Sombra passes that longing on in his blood. It is not a taint. It is. Do not think it's something negative. But he is well known for his love of the sea and the ocean, and there is much I would give to know why. Oh well, some things are not meant to be known.
Perhaps it is the touch and influence of Neptune on the blood.
Perhaps. I have had many a long conversation with Bukifos about this longing. He has always played coy about it, leading me on. And he smiles. He is quite the interesting conversationalist, that man. Will you be going to go see him?
Nicodemus kinda seems to be taken off guard a little bit by this question, but he decides to answer it promptly. It seems we will be heading to Thebes, yes. You know perhaps how to contact him.
Yes, he, there is a very large lake there, and he often spends time sailing on it. And sometimes he can be found in the markets, simply walking among the mortals. He had a large hand in rebuilding the city after its destruction some 100 years ago, and I believe he still enjoys his handiwork.
Nicodemus considers. Has he actually heard of this Canaanite, considering that he himself hails from Thebes?
You have, and so has Albina.
What do you know?
Bukaphos is widely acknowledged as the one of the 4 greatest experts of obtenebration.
Oh, fuck me.
Literally?
Yes, Lasombra himself, of course.
That was in reference to Alvin's.
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, she offers. It worked with, with Alexio.
If he walks among mortals, maybe he's not immune to ladies' charms. Well, we shall follow your advice. Thank you in finding him. Should we be successful, we'll be sure to send your regards.
Please do. Who else have you already invited, and have they explained to you exactly what the plan is to be at this meeting? These masters, Eternal Senate, whatever it is they're calling themselves these days at Rome.
Nicodemus tries to actually sense what kind of attitude is radiates this person towards the Eternal Senate. Is this the kind of disdain or contempt?
It's actually a little bit of disdain that that kindred would put themselves above mortals. So.
Mm-hmm.
We have Sorry, go ahead.
No, I've been doing most of the talking, so go ahead.
We have already visited Marcus in Sparta and alumni Missolonghi. And I think that's it, right?
No.
It was not. It wasn't Missolonghi. You got Egalta out of Kronos.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
Gotha.
So Marcus and Igor.
Yes, one adventurer who longs to be a member of my clan, and one little better than an animal himself. I wish I could say I was surprised at the company they have asked you to gather, but truly I'm not.
We still have a long road ahead of us. They are not the only ones that we will be inviting.
And have they revealed their plan for after at this council?
We do not know what will be the outcome, so I imagine that they will attempt to come up with a united front to make sure that Mitra's plans do not come to fruition, that the Macedonians are not able to gather around him.
Of course. Have they developed plans to deal with Democritus? He already lends his efforts to the Macedonians.
There were some progress made, for there was a victory over Macedon to some degree, for a fleet of ships was intercepted before it could have done any harm.
Then you have already neutered him. Democritus, high opinions of himself, far outstripping his abilities. And if you do see him, tell him I said so. I would love a description of his face. I have one last question for you, all on a personal level. I read your souls, and I see great struggle inside. Is the path of humanity so hard to embrace for you?
How do you define embrace? There are many layers of what would, how can this be interpreted? Do you want my personal take, or do you have some definition you want us to meet?
Knowledge with knowledge without application is only theory. I wish to hear your practical wisdom. He smiles. Is that not the goal of solving the statues?
Do you still hear of our experiences?
I do. I would hear all of it. I would write it all down. If time allowed, of course. I doubt we have such time. But perhaps tonight you can tell me of the highlights. Or low valleys, as the case may be.
There is a certain degree of pragmatism you seem to hint towards following a path of humanity, but I view it more on a empathic kind of level. And is it so hard, like with any penance that you would seek to use to hold your integrity, it has many challenges. Many challenges, especially that m- many people around you seem to be going their own paths. It is quite a challenge, but it is a rewarding challenge for me. For I take, for I consider myself victorious uh, every time I feel I retained my my soul and um, my mm, mm, for the lack of better word, my humanity. It brings me great comfort to see this radiate towards the people I meet, and I feel that it liberates me rather than imprison me. And from the solely no level of um, gathering experience and knowledge, it is far easier to understand those who you traffic with if you do not forsake the values they have, rather than and it's far easier to embrace the things they produce, the culture they present, and the legacy that they leave behind. For without understanding, would those things be equally appalling, appealing?
I do not reject my humanity, but I find it harder to hold on. when there is so much more pressing matters, so many other pressing matters, and when it finds, and when sometimes you need to act without taking that into consideration, taking him into consideration. I, she struggles a bit. I needed to take some radical actions in the near past in the sake of purging and eliminating a source of corruption. Many suffered, but and it frees at my humanity. But I believe that many are going to be spared from due to my actions.
And is your suffering any less because you lived?
And my what?
Is your suffering any less because you lived and they did not?
I think so. I do not understand. Do you mean to ask if I suffer for what my actions? Or do you mean to ask what I had to give away to perform said actions?
The suffering and guilt of the living is often outweighs that of the dead. That we are still alive in a sense, that we still walk this surface of the planet of Gaia. That gives us the opportunity to make something out of our suffering as opposed to the dead. Do not allow guilt to tell you you deserve to suffer. Only take your guilt and use it to teach you that when you have performed a wrong action, it tells you what not to do. If you continue to hurt yourself to inflict more guilt, that does nothing but suffering. Your suffering should help you grow and learn that what affects humans affects you as well. You should not treat them as beneath you. They are with you. That is the essence of humanity. You are all one.
As to me, my clan has its own goals and its own code.
And do you allow your clan to define you, Hatshepsut? Does your clan tell you on whom to feed? Does it tell you what stars to watch through the sky?
It provides a foundation from which I may determine the best course for myself.
If you allow others to be your foundation, any movement from them will shake your whole temple. You must dig your own foundation and lay it strong. Tonight, let us retire. You are welcome to browse any of the volumes here in this room. You are welcome to speak with the Nosferatu. You may stay in the guest chambers. Please do not touch the doors that lead other places. I must retire to speak on your own words, and I'm sure you have reflection and strategizing to do. So I bid you a good evening, and hope you rest well.
Good
This,
evening.
Good evening.
this in the city, the journey has been tiresome. Who should we speak to? Should we wish to should we wish to feed in the city?
We elect a new representative every year. Currently, it is a Toreador named Iontius. He may actually be intrigued on your own offer. He may actually be intrigued as to your mission. I will attempt to let him know that you are in the area, and perhaps he will find time to stop by tomorrow night.
However, our good manners dictate that we should make our own trip to present ourselves and make our presence known, just to not cause a disturbance.
Well, nonetheless, I shall ask and attempt to get you an answer. He is mercurial. I do not expect patterns out of Iontius.
And where could we find him?
I am honestly not sure right now. I shall have to send out messengers to look.
Very well. Let us see what the next night brings. Hopefully, it will be fortunate.
Good evening. And he will get up and
Good evening.
retreat to the door on the left.
Much closer to his creator than most of Thoth's brood.
This has to be the calmest and most composed Bruja we've met so far. But then again, there was Libris. Well, enough talk. Nicodemus looks around at the old scrolls, and there's this fascinated glitter in his eyes, and it is time to indulge ourselves. And he goes off to stroll through whatever there's to read and whatever there's to gain. He tries to learn something about the geography and politics of this place to make their easier more comfortable.
Are they? Do they seem to be marked out as being divided into particular sections?
There's no real index or table of contents. You just kind of have to open them up and look.
Do they have titles upon themselves?
At the top, when you unroll them, they do.
Splendid. Well, we'll just have to use the good old-fashioned randomization.
The first several volumes you pick up as you are looking through the shelves are treatises about humanity and the road of humanity.
Hatchet. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, just go ahead. Let's just going to say also that the occult knowledge.
Yeah, Hatshepsut is going to be looking for particular subject, see if there are any hints of knowledge she can apply to her blood magic.
Alpina is going to be looking for scroll related to La Sombra, to the Abyss. Also scroll related to the gods.
There are several shelves devoted to theories of democracy, some history of Athens, of course. After he retires, the door opens and Sybil the Nosferatu comes back in, assuming the conversation is over. So you guys are busy opening, grabbing scrolls, kind of looking through them. And again, Nicodemus, you're kind of moving a little slower than everyone else because you have to peer a little harder. Like, it's just a little more difficult for you to see what's going on.
Does it mean there are no torches, right, and no candles?
Well, there's a couple of candles, but that's it.
Uh-huh.
He seems to be a little afraid somebody's going to do something stupid and set a bunch of stuff alight.
Yeah, let's respect our host and not try anything stupid. Just gonna, like, use what we have.
So a lot of it is kind of history of Athens. There are many scrolls on the histories and theories of the road of humanity. There are actually surprisingly few volumes about blood magic, although there are scrolls that talk about it as if it's a rare and wondrous ability, specifically about how the third gens, because there are first-hand accounts now of the antediluvians here, seem to have abilities well above and beyond anything even their Methuselah progeny could do. And if you read between the lines, that probably means blood magic.
Interesting. Perhaps every antediluvian had their own form.
One thing you will all notice is that these are fairly recent copies. The paper seems to be in good condition. The ink is not terribly faded. You might actually make a reasonable assumption here that every scroll on here is a copy and none of them are the original.
Well, yeah, if they burn, it's not a big loss.
And of course, this small room hints at the many larger mysteries beyond it.
Oh, tempting. No.
But you could easily, just these volumes that you've pulled down, you could easily spend a week reading them and contemplating them.
Well, for now, we have only few hours for sure. So let's not waste time.
So,
Be right back. Need to grab a drink.
a question. Is Sibyl back to the room now?
Yes.
Okay. Can I, without any supernatural power, but more like simply sneak behind
No,
one of those people, and
the
not
room's
like
pretty small. It's
okay.
yeah, it's
Like,
not that
okay.
large.
Okay. What I interested was like, oh, what are you doing? Like trying to
Oh,
create
kind of
some
like as they're
conversation or
distracted.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of little making the guys tweak. I don't know, uncomfortable, having fun.
Yeah. Well, the door opens up and Sybil walks back into the room with you guys. So the Nosferatu's back.
Mm. I sit and continue on my searches for the time being.
Do you have Auspex?
Me?
Symbol? Yes.
No.
Alright.
No, I
So
do not.
you are, like, when you were doing your own reading, you have to bend really close to the candle to read this thing. To read
Yeah.
your own personal scrolls that you have pulled down.
Yep, understand. Fire.
Yeah. No, we're not going to do a courage roll for this. Just, you're like, you know, putting the scroll in the best possible light, trying to see through the cast light. Like, you know, this isn't a real comfortable sit down at the table and read. You're struggling to get enough light to see this.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I'm like speaking loud. Oh, Nicodem, Warple, your voice is very. I don't know. It's not loud. I mean, I can't hear it.
Strange.
Oh,
Is
there it
it?
goes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Is it
it's
this bad?
it's good now. It's good now. If, you can go first.
What are we doing again?
Reading, apparently.
Okay. Yeah, because there's little time for anything else. Does it? So it seems this library is very kindred oriented.
It is.
So Nicodemus wants to look into whatever myths he can call, and he wants to investigate the name from the chat that was already tossed in about.
Which name?
In the Roll20 chat, Elimelech.
Oh, sorry, I missed that chat. Actually,
Too many chats.
yes, Elimelech. That is potentially going to be on the medical scrolls.
Medical scrolls triggered.
Yes. There is, well, you know what? There will be a reference as to what scrolls to look up, and there are several authored by Elimelech.
Ooh. Hmm.
No, wait a minute.
Interesting.
No, I'm thinking of the wrong
Thank
one. Elimelech, he's the. Oh shoot, he was the one from your backstory, right? Or from Abinadab's backstory.
Yeah.
No, he would not be on these scrolls. Unless I'm going to give a percentage roll. We'll give a 10% chance here. If I roll 90 or above. No. Okay.
Nah.
No references to him in this particular part of the library.
It's still a medical library, right?
There's a small medical section. Very small.
Well, since
Again, this is only like a starting point for a lot of stuff.
so Nicodemus probably knows most of it already.
Yes, you actually probably know more than what's in here. You could probably add to it, actually.
That would be a nice thing to do if only we had a bit time. Oh well. Okay. Well, let's look into some kind of myths and legends and whatever else. Maybe something related to Salubri.
Okay. I'll give a 75% chance for that. Wow. No, there's a couple of references that there's more that will be found deeper into the library, but on these particular shelves, there's nothing of any significance. Nothing you didn't already know.
by deeper, you mean it's still in this room, right? Or
No,
do
no,
we need to actually
into behind the doors you were told not to touch. Speaking of, I believe that requires a willpower roll from 2 of you.
What do you mean?
Well,
2 of us?
Yes, the 2
Which
people
two?
who have a curiosity flaw of some kind.
I see. Well, if I am one of them, you should PM me because
Sybil
I'm
is
not.
not one of them.
Okay.
I have.
I know your clan
One
weakness
ru-
specifically pertains to medical stuff, but
Mhm.
I'll make it difficulty 4 for you, Nicodemus,
Okay.
and it's going to be difficulty 7 for Hatshepsut.
I should use my remaining willpower, right?
Yeah, you can.
For this.
Absolutely.
You can. No, that wasn't the question.
Oh, yeah, no, yes.
The
Your
question
willpower
was,
points, correct.
use-
Not your permanent, your temporary.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You're good. You managed to resist the urge to go poking where you're not supposed to touch.
We'll be civil. We'll be civil. We have to look, but no. We're not going to be dumb and wreck another thing. Let's find something nice to read. Let's see about those humanity scrolls. No, I'm not going there. I'm not even looking at the door.
Okay. All right. You spend the rest of the night looking through different scrolls. And you wake up the next day. Everybody spends a blood point to wake up.
Well, actually, I mean, this Sibyl is not with them, right? So we are very, very away from it.
Wow.
Do I find anything useful in regards to La Sombra, the Abyss, or about the...
I'll give a 25% chance that there's something you don't know about La Sombra on these shelves. Everything that's on here hints to further mysteries deeper in the library, but nothing on these shelves you haven't already heard. Alright, so next night, everybody wakes up. You are in some guest areas. It's a pretty bare bones accommodation. This is not a nice hotel or anything like that.
Oh, hello?
Yes?
Voice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Better now.
Something happened to the computer, I don't know. What did you say, Chris? Can you repeat?
I said we're going to wake up the next night. You guys just spend the rest of the night researching on what's on these shelves, going through the scrolls.
I'm back.
Hatshepsut, I need a willpower roll from you at difficulty 6.
Oh?
Curiosity.
Oh, fuck.
Don't budge, dude, please. Here. Oh.
You refrain from touching the forbidden doors. So everybody, you go to bed. You wake up the next night. The accommodations underneath the library, they're pretty bare. This is not a hotel. It's literally just a small cot to get you up off the ground. So you're not sleeping like a barbarian on the stone. You had your own door where you could shut it if you wanted. There's probably 4 or 5 of these rooms, so you're going to have to double up a little bit. But overall, he has kept his hospitality promise. You are all perfectly safe. Ihamus managed to find a stabling nearby to put the donkeys in the carts. So that's all taken care of. And yeah, so you all wake up and you go about your nightly routine when you first get up to gather in the room, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, out of character, how are we going to, how to say it, add the Sibyl to the coterie?
I am getting to that, and I'm about to PM you something.
Because I feel like we need some sort of push, or I will try to
You
create
will.
it myself.
Yep, I got you. Okay. You guys all gather, and after about 45 minutes or so, one thing you do notice when you get up is there's 2 fresh candles just lit on the table. And Shalmuth gets up and he opens his door and comes in, sees you all gathered there. He says, I have spoken with my ghouls and I managed to arrange a meeting with Iontius. He can be found in the Agora tonight, so you will be able to speak to him in a public place. Rest assured it will be quiet and the silence of the blood will be maintained where you are at. So I have had much time to consider, and I have a few things I would like before I agree. So first off, I have known Sybil for some time, and I would like you to take her with you on your travels. Anything negative which she does shall fall upon my head, should she attempt to harm you.
This could be I feel that we should warn you that this is a perilous journey. We have already lost one among our ranks while we were traversing these lands, and we have no doubt that there will be more dangers forthcoming.
I have no expectations that you will take special precautions to save Sybil, only that I offer you reassurance as to her loyalty that she will not harm you.
Am I next to them?
Yes.
Like with everyone? Okay.
Yes, you're in the
No. No harm shall come to me, to those of my alliance and my friends.
I have no objection.
Nictemus looks between his country members, and I personally have no objections. If this is the term you want to, if this is one of your terms, then I'd be happy to meet it. Whoa!
That is outstanding news. Second, I require...
You all... Sorry,
go
go
on,
ahead.
please, go on.
I was going to say that you'll be glad to have the company, the companionship of one that you has spent so much time by your side in such place. She motions to the scrolls around.
That makes me... I am pleased. Second, I would like a guarantee of my personal safety and the safety of my personal childa. That the kindred of Rome and Rome's territories will take no action to harm us. Unless such circumstances are completely unavoidable.
You have to forgive me asking this question, but this warranty of safety, this means for the duration of your coming to the of your arrival to the meeting and during its progress.
No,
Is
no,
correct? This is your expectation.
this is forever. Now, note, I do not require any kind of cooperation or any guarantee that you'll help me to do anything. I simply ask that you promise that you will make no overt or hidden efforts to destroy me or my children. I understand, sometimes circumstances will put us on the opposite side. That's understandable. Such things will happen. However, unless it can not be avoided by any means, I require a promise that you will spare us.
This is, of course, under the assumption that you yourself or your children or any of people that you have influence over will not take action against Rome in return. Should
As I
this
have
be
said, sometimes circumstances will put us on opposite sides. However, if you can avoid killing my childa, that is the requirement.
who is your child? May we have a name before we consider this?
He currently goes by, I believe, as his own joke, the name Libris.
Do you know of Libras?
He
Yes.
he serves Carthage currently.
Oh!
Actually, the only two people who know that are not here.
Oh, right. Oh, hold on. Haven't we had names given to us during the negotiations? I think we did.
I believe we did.
Yes, you did, actually. You did hear the name Libris as involving that negotiation. I had to think about it. Yes, you did.
Libris, Nicodemus says. I believe I've met him. He seems to be very distant and devoid of all emotions.
One of the reasons I picked him.
Much affixed for the pursuit after knowledge and lore. We have recently learned of his name being among the entourage of diplomatic party from Carthage.
Yes, I had heard the same, which is the reason for my condition, that if you can avoid killing him, it must be avoided.
Chipset grits her teeth. Very well. I, for one, will not object.
Same. I do not see any reason why should we come fight with your child, or you should that not be required.
hold on. We're talking about destruction. I think it's fair. So whatever the conflict may be, whatever the opposition may be, you're asking only about refraining from destruction
Yes.
of you yourself and your children.
Yes. He's actually my grandchild, but yes. I have two more conditions. Should something happen to me, I wish you or the other representatives of your Senate to make sure that Libris takes possession of my library. I promise he understands the significance. Lastly, after the conflict is finished, I require guaranteed access to the libraries of all members of your Eternal Senate. I wish to have copies of their information for my own collection, and he waves at his library. I will be more than happy to make the copies myself. Do you have an objection to that?
All members of the libraries of the members of the Eternal Senate.
Yes, they're private collections. That which they would not reveal except under such dire circumstances. Surely they authorize you to make such an agreement. I'm not hearing you talk, Vorpal.
Sorry, I was catching up on notes.
Okay. Sorry.
That's a lot to take in. This sounds like a really tall effort, and it may be difficult to meet.
It's not a matter of time. We have all the time needed.
Out of character, I do have a question. Would it be appropriate for my character to, I don't know, add his own thoughts into this discussion too? Maybe be relevant, or
As long as you're not trying to set a condition. If you're trying to elaborate on something, then you can speak up.
well, yeah. I mean, I think I don't have much to say. I'm still going to stay silent.
That is not something that they had been given the permission to do. But perhaps this is something that you can talk with them during the meeting itself.
How many people is he talking about? How many kindred to the Eternal Senate that he's interested in?
Obviously, he's more interested in the elders than he is in the young Ventru, and Malkavians. But they did give you the authority to authorize quite a number of deals. So, and roll what's a good roll for this? Wits plus empathy.
Might try that, yeah. Diff 4? 6, sorry. Diff 6?
Yeah. Nice, Albina. Very nice. They had to anticipate that he would make such a request. They also, they specifically said they sent you to him because they knew you would get along.
Because what? Can you repeat?
Because they knew you would get along. You would understand him. You are all, the three of you are academically minded Canaanites. If you had this opportunity to make such a request, wouldn't you take it?
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, but on the other hand, it seems that the bargain about not distraction seems to be more pressing for him. I mean, that he made 2 terms related to the same thing. How to go out of this?
You can roll.
Let's see. Okay.
I was gonna say roll wits plus etiquette or wits plus law, whichever's better.
Or wits plus what?
Law, L-A-W.
Okay, sure. Wits plus law. Let's try this.
Both of us?
Success.
Yes, all three of you are in this negotiation, so you can all roll it. You don't just have to deny him terms. You can add a reciprocal agreement as well. He gets that knowledge. Maybe he has to share some of his. So you don't just have to deny, say, no, I'm not going to do that. You can say, well, if we let you do that, then we would like this in return. Knowledge for knowledge.
I also wanted to see how is he, what seems to be his emotional stance currently. Does he seem to be hopeful for a better bargain, or he's like, yeah, I'm holding you by the balls?
None of you guys have aura sight, do you?
None of you guys what?
Do you have Auspex level 2?
No.
Okay.
However, I'd like to then make a sense cycle check upon him.
You can do that.
And see what do you fear the most? Keep forgetting what it was. Probably something.
Valerian sense cycle.
Perception plus enigmas or empathy.
Spend a willpower point. Roll perception plus enigmas or empathy. Difficulty 7.
Really need to get those scores up. All right. Spend. Oh fuck.
So you look at him and you start. Fate is like a web. When you use sense cycle, it's like a web or a weave of a cloth. And you reach out and you pluck at this weave, and instead of reading the threads like you're used to, you see it vibrate, and you get caught up in trying to follow all the little intersections to the point where you kind of trail off in thought, just like, so you're kind of out of it for a few minutes.
Okay.
So we're at the stage where he's just suggested the library term.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he wants to have access to the private libraries of the Eternal Senate so that he can make copies.
As a modification to this last term, in exchange, a representative of the Eternal Senate is able to make a copy of tomes from half of the forbidden sections of this library. Does this sound reasonable?
They may make a single copy here. Yes. I will agree to that.
Excellent. Then I think I can accept these terms. Albina?
She nods. Yes. I believe this terms will be very much to the acceptance of the Eternal Senate.
I believe our friend Nicodemus has become a bit overwhelmed by all the possibilities. I'm sure he would not object.
Then we are in agreement.
Typical set-eyed.
We are in agreement. He stands up and shakes your hand, and when he goes to shake your hand, he actually pulls you in and kisses you on the cheeks.
Oh my.
And that's for all three of you.
Nicodemus is probably completely limp.
So, that is a good
what?
stopping point for tonight.
What? What just happened? Oh, okay.
Yep. 2 experience points for everybody tonight.
And here's the question. Did I get enough info from the library to buy up a doc of Neptune's Might? I'm gonna guess no, but figured I'd ask.
No, he didn't have a lot of specific stuff out here, occult-wise, blood magic-wise. But he did have, there is a lot to be had in this library if you had more time to do it, to research. So that's kind of a downtime hint.
Right.
This is a tremendous place to go find knowledge on rituals and paths.
So something to keep in mind.
Yep.
I'll probably save these experience ready.
So, next session. Hold on, let me stop the recording here, guys.